We Wayne.
Gawain.
All right, here we go. We're just kind of vibing with Risk of Rain 2 today. It'll be good.
Cool.
I was just watching in order to try, like, I've had like a headache all day, so I was trying to like just rest up a little bit before stream, and I was watching a like 20-minute compilation of Tom Holland spoiling Marvel movies.
It's pretty funny.
It's really good.
It's like he's just so excited about it. He isn't even really thinking about what he's saying. By the
And
time
to
he
be
does
fair,
it,
a
he's
lot
just
of the
like,
stuff that he says would be innocuous. You know what I mean? Like, you'd be details where it'd be like, "Oh, I know that's a spoiler. Oh, my bad." And then there are times, like, I don't know. It's just like it was really funny because all of the clips were in chronological order, and you could see that when they scheduled him for interviews, at first it was him like alone, and then like
and then he started having people to stop him.
like he would have he would always do
with
interviews
someone.
with a co-star or whatever that would be like
Wasn't there
stop.
one where with Benedict Cumberbatch where he like slaps his hand over his mouth like no.
Well, so that was Jake Gyllenhaal from the second Spider-Man
Oh.
movie, but he did do a different interview with Benedict Cumberbatch where he just kept looking at him over and over. He just kept looking at Benedict, being like, "Can I answer that question? Can I answer that
Is
question?"
it good? Is it good, Dad?
and then the most recent, and I guess theoretically, you know, whatever, but the most recent clips were I guess he's gotten better at recognizing when he's getting into spoiler territory, because it was a bunch of clips of interviewers trying to trick him into giving them spoilers, which was fun.
I know recently he was on Hot Ones, and it was pretty funny because he goes, "Man, this is such a great idea." Like as he's like dying of spice, he goes, "You know, I'm in so much pain. You ask me anything, I'll tell you."
I would not survive Hot Ones. I
Oh
unfortunately.
my god, no!
I can't even survive watching Hot Ones.
I just have no spice tolerance, even though I think like spice is nice as long as it has flavor. Because who likes?
You'll never
Who in
be
the
a
world
pilot.
would like
Who
the
just
bomb?
likes pain?
Yeah,
The bomb.
the bomb.
I think
don't
Henry
anyone likes
Rollins.
the bomb.
I think Henry Rollins was the only one I've seen who was like, "Yeah, that was pretty good," and Sean Evans was like, "Really?" He goes, "Well, it's just so much pain, you don't taste anything." It's like, well, I don't know if that counts as good, Mr. Rollins.
Yes, I think we understand. Oh man. Probably watch this.
Hot Ones is a cool show.
Hot
I'm really
Ones is a
glad
good idea.
yeah, I'm really glad it gets the recognition, or it's getting the recognition that it deserves now.
C, it is C. Okay. It's been a hot
So-
minute since I played any of this, so you'll have to give me a second to remember controls.
The ukulele.
You're fine.
And his music was electric.
It's electric.
Boogie boogie.
Electric ukulele.
I'm also playing on normal mode instead of my usual easy, and I'm not using any of my run modifiers that I usually enjoy. So if I do
so
well,
very different playthrough.
so if I do this, if I do well on this playthrough, I'm gonna give myself a pat on the back. Because normally,
Hell yeah.
normally I have training wheels on my training wheels when I play Risk of Rain 2.
You have a net under your bike.
Safety net under my bike. Yeah.
Yeah. This is a really cool game.
You know what? Is there? I think I have my audio set really low, huh? Let me see.
It's a little
Audio.
quiet.
Yeah, master volume 5%. It's probably because last time I was playing this, I was listening to a podcast or something. Let's see if the music kicks back
That's
in.
definitely louder.
Because I just wanted the music to start playing.
The music.
Oh, you like that? You like that little dodge?
Those pretty cool. I haven't seen you play this character before.
This is Huntress. She's my second. She's my second best character in terms
Who's
of.
your main?
My
Is it
main.
the plant guy?
No. Well, although the plant guy
Parasite
is
Man.
the plant guy is definitely the one that I'm most successful with. But nah, if I had to pick like my favorite character, it's definitely Acrid, the one that's like a monster that just makes everybody sick.
Oh, it is Parasite Man. I was right.
Parasite Man.
No,
He looks
Parasite
cool.
Man is Korean.
Parasite Man is rich.
Parasite, which is Japanese. I don't. Unless
The
there's
anime.
a parasite behind
Well,
the
once again, the dichotomy between cinema and anime is fun. I had a big day today, or not a big day, I guess, but just a day in which I had things that needed to get done at a reasonable clip. Because I have like a couple Christmas projects going at the same time. For like different groups of people, and it was just one of those things where it's like I had very brief moments of time where it's like, okay, now I can talk to this person about this thing, about whatever, and so I had to make sure that everything was on time properly. But then I got to do more video editing today as well for my next project that I'm doing, and I don't know, I went into like a fugue state at one point because the video project that I'm doing involves just kind of like sifting through literally 100 hours of footage. So
Yikes.
so I was just sitting there today, and I look at the clock. I look at the clock, and I was like, oh, I literally just sat here for 3 hours without making a single edit. hopefully there was nothing funny that I missed.
Ooh.
Oops. Because I sure as hell ain't going back through that again. But yeah.
You entered a fucking Zen mode.
It's like what people describe as a flow state, except I didn't do anything.
Passive flow state.
Yeah.
I just like the sound of the running, like
A little
the
pitter
difference
patter.
the difference between like running on stone versus running on grass.
The
That's
sound
always
design of this
cool.
is very good, yeah.
Okay. So, Grant, what do you think
Yeah.
about Game of the Year?
Man, I'm upset.
What did you want to win?
What were the other nominations? I literally
It's the same answer.
the thing wasn't that I wanted another game to win. I just wanted It Takes Two to lose, right?
It's so frustrating, because It Takes Two's gameplay is like really good.
It's
like,
very,
phenomenal.
very good.
But like
Well, it
for
kinda-
me, oh yes.
Oh, sorry, go on.
What? No, you go
No,
first.
no. I interrupted you.
no,
Fuck you.
no,
Fuck you so much. Continue your points.
Fine. Okay, God.
Oh, sweet.
It's just that as like a narrative person, the narrative being that atrocious for me, like really hurts the game. Like,
I
and
wish
also,
Lawrence was here so he could defend it again.
well, he'll be here eventually.
I'm gonna dogpile on him and tell him he's wrong.
Like the thing is, it was just super funny too. It also winning, what is it?
Family Game of the Year?
Family Game.
It won Family
It bet
Game.
it, out of
Fuck
it
off.
and out of it and 4 Nintendo titles, it won Family Game of the Year. Yes.
I'm going to
Fuck off, holy shit.
copy the link that you sent me, Zach, and I'm gonna post it on there.
Oh, the tweet.
Because honestly,
I want to know what kind of fucked up families playing It Takes Two.
with their kids.
Hey kids, let's fucking. I want to
I
talk with you.
agree. Like, who's playing this game specifically? Like, because it's like kids, whether it be, like, I get it, the atmosphere is like fun and all, but it's like, you put a kid in front of that elephant scene, I swear to God, I think they'd be crying.
Or just the
I don't-
constant dialogue of the husband and wife bickering. You know what I mean? Like, that's just not fun. It's
And being
uncomfortable.
bad people to one another.
Yeah.
Oh, man, so it's like, it's such a weird thing, right? Because it's like, on one half, it's like really good, and then the other half just sucks.
It
The narrative could have been
reminds
better, yeah.
me- It reminds me of last year's Game of the Year,
Which was Last of Us
where
2.
yeah, Last of Us 2 Part 2 won Game of the Year last
Which
year.
which you want to know
where-
do you want to know who announced Game of the Year? Like who opened up the thing to reveal it?
this year?
Yeah,
Was it what's his face?
Neil Druckmann. Yes.
Neil Druckmann. I know there was a fuck pun in there. Of course. You fool!
I should be okay.
Where the story is fucking terrible, but it is a good game, quote unquote.
The
But
Last of
come
Us
on.
2 I would put in that category of like it's so AAA that it can't fail.
But that was the one actually good thing about It Takes Two, isn't it's that it's like an actual indie game, that one. Like,
Although
which is
apparently,
another
like, I
thing that
double
was
checked
like,
some, but
meh.
apparently it doesn't fit into the indie game category because the
Does it?
development studio that made it had enough investors to be in the regular like game industry category.
Ah.
Technically, there were only 2 indie games that were featured, and I don't remember the other one, but obviously one of them was Inscription.
Definitely
yeah.
not the one that won Indie Game of the Year.
Just goes to show
That
you
wasn't
can
a
still have
category.
a story.
That's
Best
why.
indie
That's
game.
why. That's one of the reasons why Inscription didn't win Indie Game of the Year is because the category didn't exist. Yes.
I mean, I don't know. It's really upsetting.
I'm just glad that it wasn't like Deathloop or something like that. Just because I'm real sick and tired of award shows, especially in the games industry, just being AAA jerk off sessions. You know what I mean? Where it's just a bunch of really big studios complimenting each other on like, wow, you did a great job on this, and it's like, sure.
But there have been games that really, you know, that are monumental, like God of War, Breath of the Wild, that have won Game of the Year in the past.
That is true. But I don't know. I like I said, I'm just so
Yeah, okay.
I'm like way in over my head into the indie garbage. So it's like I don't know. I just wish it would get more credit.
The one good thing that
Which is
I
understandable.
saw about like the whole thing was that like Deathloop did win like a couple of the awards, but it wasn't like the overall awards was actually kind of spread out, which is something I think I noted to Zach yesterday. Like there was a couple of the games that I was familiar with that I'm like, oh, I can't believe these actually like won like over, let's say, Deathloop. If they
Yeah.
were
Oh, so you mean it wasn't like a single game winning 8 awards like last year?
Hey
Yes.
man, Last of Us
Basically.
2 was a masterpiece.
Was a
and-
game.
It's a game that followed a masterpiece, which
That's a good way of putting it, I think.
yeah.
Hey, let's just
Which gave
make
it
a
the
let's just make a
reputation.
narrative that just makes you really hate everybody.
Everyone's a terrible person, and fuck you. They both win Game of the Year.
It's kind of like
Hey, you remember that
Zach,
character who
the-
had a really cool like arc
Okay.
and developed into like a likable character at the end of the first game? Let's just make her like a vindictive asshole and make her the foil to another vindictive asshole.
Yeah,
That's a
obviously.
great idea. What do you mean you didn't like it? Oh, you're just not cultured.
I'm just seething.
You
don't
As-
understand
As
it.
a writer, I am seething.
It's so asinine.
I just don't like being forced to play unlikable characters. Like, obviously, unlikable characters exist. But please, don't make me play it.
Right. I was browsing the rest of the game announcements as well, and I don't know, there wasn't really anything that caught my eye.
There
I mean, Halo
were-
series, but that was we got a
Yeah.
little more, so it was like, okay, neat.
Was that the Halo movie or Halo TV series?
TV series?
Okay. Because Kasaba and I talked about it at the end of the show, but I mean, there was only, I don't know, there was like a little bit of a handful, right, of games that
There's like a couple. Yeah.
we were looking forward to.
I'm just
I
saying
mean,
personally.
Oxenfree 2
No,
doesn't
yeah,
even
yeah.
count as an announcement for the show, but they had, you know, Alan Wake 2 is interesting.
Alan Wake 2 is actually pretty pog.
Alan Wake 2 is pretty interesting. There was like 2 more. Oh, fucking Northern Lion.
Hellblade.
Northern
yeah,
Lion
Sonora,
earlier today played the Saba. I don't remember the name of the game, but it's like you just run around the city environment and you're like a brawler.
Mario Odyssey. Gotcha.
No. You're like a brawl. Well, it's because Saba and I both remarked on how like, wow, that looks really generic. But like, I don't know, you play as like a wrestler and you're going up against other players and it's like a battle royale, but everything's like wrestling moves or whatever.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Guacamelee,
Yeah,
gotcha.
wrestle. Yeah.
I want to
just
say it's
throwing
like
that in.
Rumble Fest. Like just
Rumble
really
Dumble,
generic name. But Northern Lion played it on stream earlier today, and I was beside myself laughing at how generic and lazy it was. And it's just one of those things where it's just like, you know, we've dipped our toes into game development, so even garbage takes a long time to develop. But it really does show, like, man, a lot of companies really just care about money. Because the game has next to no creative integrity, in my opinion. Like the one thing that the game has that's, like, kind of neat is that instead of, like, weapons and armor being the loot that you find in loot boxes, instead you either find stat boosts, which are permanent, or an ability that you can swap onto your Q and E. And it's like, that's kind of neat, I guess. And like, you have different rarities of abilities and stuff. So doing a suplex might be better than just doing like a triple punch as your special move. But the triple punch is way more common, so you're gonna see it a lot more. But anyway, Northernline played that for an hour, and the game is so boring that no one wants to play. And he was waiting on average 11 minutes in order to get into a lobby,
Good
only to die
Lord.
2 minutes into a match.
That's awful.
Oh yeah, I know Zach is excited about in terms of the games that have a nice death one.
Oh,
That's
the one that has the Grim Reaper as the main character. That just looks like a cool character action game.
Yeah.
And it's also about death being really upset at the personifications of how people die. Apparently, that's what you're doing. Is you're going out to like to kill like war and pestilence and stuff like that. Like you're going out to kill them because death is
Reverse
like,
Spark
dude,
Spiders.
because
much
death
work.
himself is like, dude, calm the fuck down.
Stop,
I'm tired. All right, stop it. Get some help.
sir. I'm thinking about that the garbage quote you said, where even garbage does take time and care, but well, maybe not care.
It takes
'Cause I've been
time. It takes a
revisiting-
lot of time and effort to make garbage.
Yeah, and I've been revisiting like old Game Grumps series because I don't like what they're putting out now. So I recently started watching the Sonic Boom series.
Yes.
That was 7 years ago, which fucked with me.
I
And
still
I thought-
yeah.
I was gonna say, I thought to myself, you know, maybe, you know, it was just hip to shit on the game because it was bad at the time. Is it really that horrible going
Yes,
back?
it was.
Yes, it is. 100%. It is an
It's
awful
so-
hot
it's-
mess.
It's not, and it's not even just like, oh, it's technically poor, like it's poorly optimized or whatever. No,
No,
it's like
every
design,
aspect
it's
of it.
poor, narrative, it's poor.
Yeah, like
A
I
lot of the
couldn't find
visual
a
design
redeeming
is
thing.
boring. Like,
It's so bad, and I'm like, oh, these poor developers.
red button, and I think they went on to do, I don't know if anyone would be willing to Google it real quick, but I think Red Button, the people that made the Sonic Boom game, I think they went on to like their very next project was like okay.
Let's see, Red Button. It was like Red Button Entertainment, right?
You gotta
Something
first
around-
make garbage
something like
to
that.
then make something above garbage.
Well,
Alright,
because
Red
the
Button.
Sonic, the main Sonic Boom that everyone knows was, you know, very lackluster. But then they made a Sonic Boom game for the 3DS, which it was like Sonic Boom Fire and Ice, and apparently that game was pretty good.
They made Arc Slinger. Oh, it's a VR game. Okay, so that would explain it.
That doesn't, I'm about to say
And
that
then they
doesn't
have
ring no
Sonic
bell.
Boom.
The Sonic Boom.
They have the Divergent series Allegiant VR. I guess they do a lot of VR stuff.
Maybe I'm thinking of
then
a
their
different red
first
button.
game- yeah, their first game was Project Tapestry. Looks to be a mobile game. Yeah, I don't know. They did John Wick VR. They do a lot of VR stuff now, it seems.
Okay. Dude, I'm getting fucking annihilated by my own item.
You fool. Yeah, I don't. Oh, are they hiring?
Oh, they are hiring, you say?
Oh, Saba, they have a localization editor / original story writer.
Wow. Really,
You
huh?
could be on Big Red Button Entertainment.
Wow.
And that's the only thing that applies to the three of us. or any
Shit.
of the three of us.
They don't have
The other
QA or
two are
level
senior.
design or creative director. Hello,
They're
Mikey.
senior
Welcome,
positions.
welcome to stream. Mikey says, those game awards, huh? Yeah,
Oh, yeah,
we just talked
Okay.
about it for a bit. We're probably going to refresh the topic a little bit later when Lawrence joins us, just because Lawrence has a higher opinion of It Takes Two than we do. It Takes Two, not a bad game. Game of the year, I would argue no, but I don't know.
Half of the game was like phenomenal in terms of gameplay. I'm sorry, as a writer, that narrative was abominably horrible, and it affects the entire game for me. Like, if the gameplay was like a 9 out of 10, the narrative brought it down to like a 6. 6 or 7.
Which isn't awful, but definitely could have been better.
Could have been
Definitely
better
not
and
Game of the Year
Game of the
material.
Year. Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that meat? That is meat.
Meat?
Meat?
Yo, you got some mad schmeat over there?
Oh, you know I do. I'm Huntress. Mikey says all they really cared for was the surprise port of Persona 4 Arena. Oh, Have a
was
Nice
pretty
Death
neat.
is the Grim Reaper game that we keep talking about, Saba.
That's what I told you.
No, well,
Yeah.
did you say the name?
Yes, I did.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay,
she
sorry,
did.
I was playing a video game.
Let's see. What was
The
it?
Persona
Oh, yeah.
4 Ultimax port is nice and all, but I'm more interested to see if that means that a Persona 5 fighting game is coming out soon. That's highly unlikely, but it'd be cool.
I mean, all we got is strikers, so.
we also got Royal, but
And-
that's like
Well, yeah.
That's just Persona 5, except
Wait, was it
planets and
Strikers or
stuff,
Scramble?
Oh shit, what was it?
I think.
Oh, no, maybe it was. Fuck, what is it? It's on Steam. Let me look it up.
Yeah.
Persona.
Persona 5 Scramble.
Strikers.
Oh, Persona 5 Scramble was the
Oh, it was
Japanese,
the
name,
Japanese
evidently.
name, okay.
Strikers was the
Ayo.
US title. Okay, well there you go. Woo! Woo!
makes
I'm
sense.
gonna die.
I should play Persona
Ow, ow,
4.
ow, ow. Persona 4, I
haven't
heard,
even
is pretty
finished the
good.
5th one.
What are you talking about?
Crying.
Grand Knight finished Persona 5
like the
together. It
game,
was
it's
awesome.
just-
Yeah, totally finished it, right, Zach?
I mean, to be fair, we on paper finished it because we got to like the halfway point of that final like post game dungeon or whatever, or like true ending dungeon, and then gave up.
Yeah. Because I hate it.
I do keep pushing Zach to have Persona 4 Golden on the channel. Yes, I understand, but also like, I don't know, man. I don't want to play another
100-hour
long series
game.
right now. Like the next long series we're doing is probably gonna be Chrono Trigger. In all honesty.
Oh my god.
Man, long games are just like, I enjoyed
Long.
Persona 5. It's just like I usually take like sometimes long breaks in between, and when I come back, I really have no idea what I was doing.
What's like the
And that sucks.
longest that you guys? What's like the longest game you guys are like find enjoyment in?
Games
Like, still play? Or.
Well, because like my example is that Cyberpunk 2077. If you just do the main story, it's like what, a 40-hour game or something like that. But then if you do main game plus side quests, the game balloons to like 150 hours. and that
Oh,
is
okay.
No clue,
way
okay.
too long for me. Like, I immediately have no interest in playing the game because that's just like that's what I would want to do is
Oh,
main
like
plus
what's a
side
good
quests.
time? You think?
Yeah,
Like,
that's kind of
like
what
how
I'm getting
long?
at. Yeah.
Okay.
I'm not sure. I don't know like games.
Did you
like,
decide
by
on which
hours too
version of
much.
Chrono Trigger you're gonna be playing? By the way, I do own Chrono Trigger on Steam, but I don't know if I don't know if they fixed that version yet. The last time I looked at it, they had this really disgusting pixel smoothing filter, which made the game look
Eee.
like
But you
fucking
could turn
ass.
it off.
Well, that's
right?
the last time I checked, you couldn't turn it off, so I would have to check that again.
I swear you were like showing it to me, and like you could turn it off from what I remember seeing.
Okay. Well, maybe I did that. Maybe I just don't remember. Mikey says the DS version is the best option, which if that's the case, I could always just get the emulator working again.
By the way, for
So-
Zach's question for the last one, I was also
yeah,
about
yeah.
to ask, like, are you talking about like story related stuff?
No,
or,
I'm
like-
talking about like you start the game to the game is now technically finished. Like
What's a good time?
yeah, what's a good
I
time
gotcha.
for that? Oh, please.
I think like.
let me go.
Oh my god. I think
I should stop using this item. It's bad.
depends on
Let me
the
go.
type. Because I played and beat Divinity Original Sin 2, and that took me 50 hours, but I had a great time through that. But I don't want to spend 50 hours in, I don't know, another game.
Well, that's. I mean, I guess that's kind of my question because it's like for me, even if a game is a lot of fun, like I'm having a good time, I will by default start not having a good time if its playtime goes over, I don't know, 100 hours. You know what I mean?
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Sure.
I like obviously not to be too, specific, but I am obviously thinking of Okami in this case,
I was just
where
like,
where I
I loved every
loved
second of
Okami
it.
for a really
I
long
loved
time,
every
and then it
second.
just stayed way longer than it needed to, and then that's when I started getting sick of it. If
It's super
Okami had
interesting, right?
had finished at like the 20 or 30 hour mark as opposed to the fucking 50, sure.
No, that's what I'm
would've
saying.
loved
It's
it.
interesting, right? For Okami, at least for you, you're like, oh, it would have been better if they just actually split these up into like a couple of different games instead of like jam packing it all into one.
I still think that.
Which I think I don't think is inherently like wrong or anything, but it is an interesting premise because normally people are like, give me as much as possible in one go, you know?
Yeah, but the thing is that the game doesn't really change up enough. And then even the narrative that they start telling in between Okami Acts 1, 2, and 3, it's like the narrative just starts going bananas where it just stops making sense after a while, I guess.
I think also if you don't really pick up on the fact that like there's an evil force that like flies out of Orochi, like then it also
you
literally doesn't make any
you
sense
pick
to
up
you.
on it as if it was like something that was supposed to be, or not supposed to be secret, but you know what I mean. Like the game shows that it's like, I don't know. We don't necessarily need to have this discussion, but just the idea of it being like, I understand that there was a narrative going on, but the narrative definitely didn't tie together very well. I don't know. Now I need to wait for Lawrence to help me defend this point.
To answer your question, though, I'd say probably 25 to 30 hours.
You think so? Okay.
Yeah,
that's
for me at
interesting.
least.
So by default, if a game goes over 25 to 30 hours, you would view that as a negative in theory.
Just story. Yes.
More or less. Okay. Sure,
Yeah,
that makes
because it's a bit long, but like I said, with Divinity Original Sin 2, I had a great time all throughout. So there are difference. But
Mikey
sometimes it overstays the welcome.
Mikey says the longest game I played was Persona Q Shadow of the Labyrinth, which was 50 hours long. Yeah,
Nice.
long game. It's just one of the, I don't know. I just think about it where it's just like I really appreciate it when developers are so passionate about the game that they're making that they put a shit ton of content in it. But also like
Yeah,
I want to
for sure.
move on. Actually, you know what? Not that like because I just thought of a different example, and it's a game that I still have a lot of fondness for. Frick Frackin' Hollow Knight. I got
3 billion hours.
I got fucking sick and tired of Hollow Knight towards the end of my playthrough. And not because the game was bad or anything, but just because I was like, come on. Please.
I'm so close.
Although, does a JRPG count? Well, that's kind of the thing, Mikey, is that if a person has an aversion to, like, ridiculously long playtimes, I guess that just means that the JRPG genre wouldn't be appealing to them, right?
Well, that I was gonna just bring up. It reminds me of Scott the Waz's take on
I'm not an
video
RPG
game
guy.
length. Well, that, and then also he goes, I don't know if it was in that episode, I think it might have been, where he goes, yeah, people complain about 8-hour campaigns or whatever, but I think that's a perfect time. I want to get to the next game because I want to experience as many games as possible. I don't want to be bogged down for 50 hours. And so I don't know, kind of interesting.
That's kind of my opinion as well, a little bit.
But like 8 hours? That I don't know.
8 hours is a little short, but like, I was just about to say, I would think that like 10 to 12 hours is probably my ideal time.
Sure.
I'm just
fair.
thinking about like some of my favorite games are around like 10 to 12 hours, you know?
There are
Please die faster, please
some
die
games,
faster,
like,
please die faster, please.
they're
Oh
like
my god.
somewhat like farming like Sims. Like you have like the original, like the whole Harvest Moon
Sims?
series.
Where there isn't really an end.
I mean, but it's like you, and then
that's
you have
Adrian.
like the
Adrian's
split
here.
off,
Everybody's
which was
yeah.
hello Adrian, which was Rune Factory. which
Oh,
I
the
very
new
much,
Rune
like,
Factory just came out, by the way, on Steam.
I'll keep an eye on that.
No!
But it's like
Oh!
for that, like I enjoyed like the game, even though I actually haven't to this day beaten it because of unfortunate stuff. But like there's something that it does do which bugs me a little bit. Like the longer you end up playing, like there are like these little elemental like spirits within each like section of your map, which the longer you go, ultimately they start like, I don't even know how to describe it, but they start ruining themselves by like moving to different locations and stuff like that, and it almost feels like no matter how hard you try to fix it, they won't fix, like the scenario won't fix itself, which is like the one big thing where it's like I would like to play more of this, but seeing something as like like it's not fixing it no matter how hard I try really like brings down my mood when it comes to trying to play it.
It's really like disheartening.
Yeah. So, and that's like such a bummer, right? Because it's like it keeps, at least for me,
No!
it retains my attention really well. It's just like when you have one thing, as you said, like that disheartens you as you play, it really does take a toll.
Yeah, especially if that's a constant and you're being reminded of it, that like, hey, you suck. And
No,
it's like,
no,
"Oh."
oh.
Well, that's the thing. Normally,
died.
like the sprites look like super cute and like happy, right? But when they like start shifting in certain ways and it's becoming like unbalanced, right? They start looking unhappy. So you're constantly seeing these unhappy spirits like flying around, and I'm just like, I don't know what to do. I can't help you. I'm so
That's not
sorry.
fun. That's not fun at all.
Like, let me see. What are they called?
So we're just gonna kind of chill and banter this stream, it seems, since we're playing Risk of Rands.
Correct.
Yes.
Risk of Wayne.
Mikey says the
Wayne.
second longest. What's the second longest game you've played on the channel? From what I've seen, it would be Pokemon Mystery Dungeon Explorers of Sky because of all the side quests. I
Played
choose
or
a random
finished?
one. Sorry,
Played or finished?
I would say finished because the Ace Attorney series doesn't count because they count as 3 individual games. All right. Well, Mikey's not cooperating. Someone pick a character, please. Pick whatever character. It does not matter. I will
What's
play
that?
them.
What's the bottom left one?
Bottom left. This is Loader.
What does he look like? Him.
Excuse you. It's a she.
Her.
It's fine.
Nice.
All right, let's see if I remember how to play this character in the slightest. But yeah, I'm just trying to think. What else did we play on the channel that was like really long? I mean, there was Okami, obviously, but I don't know.
We had The Witness, but it wasn't that long.
Yeah.
When we say long, do we mean like how long a normal person take to play them, or how long did we stretch it out for?
How long did we
How long did
play
we play
it
it?
for? Yeah.
Yeah.
I think some of the Ace Attorney games might qualify in that case, because we did take a while to finish some of them.
That's true.
I think the third one was probably our longest.
Third one, we did have a pretty long hiatus in the middle there.
Yeah.
It took us like what 3 episodes just to do game 1, case 5.
That's yeah. I'm not.
And that
either.
was back. And that was back before we had the 3-hour schedule.
Man.
Spider-Man.
Ace Attorney was what the fuck? What the fuck?
I'm Spider-Man.
Spider-Man.
Did you not think I was Spider-Man? Spider-Man.
Yeah,
I can't wait for him. I can't
Spider-Man.
wait for him to be in the new animated movie.
And in the live-action MCU
Put him
movie,
in, Coach.
Tom Holland.
If they put Spider-Man in fucking No Way Home, I'm gonna fucking scream with laughter.
And he'll be voiced by Chris Pratt.
God damn it.
Finally.
I liked people making fake news articles about how Chris Pratt was like voicing X, Y, or Z because I couldn't tell which ones were real.
Well, this is a good announcement that Oboe Stream will now be voiced by Chris Pratt.
Oboe Stream, the whole thing?
Yeah, everyone's Chris Pratt now.
Oh, I knew it.
It'll be a demonstration of his range.
Yeah.
He'll cover early 20s college student, early 20s college student, early 20s college dropout.
Early 20s
early
college
20s
student,
college
but
student.
girl.
We're all graduated. We're not students.
Oh yeah,
Right,
We all
sorry.
graduated.
I forgot we're
college
adult ass
graduates.
adults at this point.
early
Get that too,
early
sorry.
20s unemployed college graduate.
Hey man, I'm working on it.
Hey man, I'm working.
So am I.
I was just gonna make the joke that Zach would be played by Chris Pratt in the upcoming theater mode movie. Oh, I'm flattered actually that I'm the one that
Dude.
Chris Pratt plays.
I could see Chris
Oh.
Pratt playing Zach.
Don't Saba and Lawrence have jobs?
They do.
I don't wait. Lawrence has a job.
Yeah.
What's Lawrence doing?
Doesn't Lawrence have a
I
job? I
know.
thought he did.
Does
Either that or
Lawrence-
I'm
He
just
had a job
thinking.
when I
Either that
lived
or I'm
with
just
him.
thinking of his commissions.
I mean, Grant technically has
Yeah.
2 jobs now.
That is true.
Kill me. Kill me.
So it's just me
Those
and
arrows are
Adrian in
coming,
theory.
Grant.
Well, I have a job. I've been complaining about it all street.
Fuck, so it's just me.
Yeah.
I'm all on my own again. All right.
I'm about to be your dad and complain to you why you're not employed yet, Zach. Watch this.
Watch this. My dad has been, as I mentioned before, he's been looking for work in North Carolina, and apparently last week he got a call from Fidelity National Bank in this area. It would be an hour and 20-minute commute, so awful.
Oh my god.
But they were theoretically offering him a pretty penny in order to be like a regional manager or whatever. But he had this phone
man.
interview today, and I don't know all the
Uh-huh.
details, but evidently the phone interview was like 15 minutes long, and they essentially just asked him like some really basic questions about like, do you know how to use Microsoft Excel?
Do you know how to use a computer?
What?
Yeah, and it was just one of those
Mouse
things where it's
is.
just like, I don't know, like dad didn't seem that like bothered by it, but mom was very offended, being like, yeah, they were treating him like he was a 15-year-old doing his first job.
That's fine. They'll underestimate him, and then he'll get to the job, and he'll wow everyone.
Is your dad not
Well-
15?
No, my dad is not 15.
No.
Is maybe it's just like the first round interview where I don't know, seating people.
I mean, we're all
Dad did.
15
wasn't
After
born.
I talked to Dad afterwards, and he described it as it was a job. It was an interview where just the people that would be working with and above him wanted to see whether or not they would, want to work with him. And so it was, I don't know. I guess they were just kind of gauging like the types of questions or like his answers to the questions. But I don't know. Even Dad said that the interview felt a little weird, so I don't necessarily think
Yeah.
anything's gonna come of it. But who knows? Mikey says,
should
all I
become a
remember is
scab.
that either Adrian had the babysitting job, but that has since stopped, I think, right?
True.
That was like a whole arc of this.
That was an
Yeah.
enormous arc for Adrian.
Yeah.
True.
That
Do you like
was
my fighting? Do you
Adrian's,
like my fighting
third
style, by the
season.
way?
Going in a
pretty
circle and just bashing.
It's great.
You're like this thing in Star Wars trying to topple AT-AT.
He's trying
Hey
to
guys,
Hey,
ever hear the really
AT-AT.
old movie Star Wars?
Fucking hate that.
I think one of my least favorite things to have come out of what you calls it, Owl House was what fuck, Ida. She's wearing like a fake Star Wars shirt or whatever, and one of the other characters is like, "What's this?" And she's like, "Oh, that's blah blah blah. You don't know blah blah blah? Oh man, this is awesome." And the character looks at it and is like, "This came out 30 years ago." And Ida goes, "I was there when this came out in theaters." And gets real.
Oh, wasn't that
sad.
wasn't that a Dragon Ball reference though?
Wasn't
Or
it a
was Star
Dragon
Wars?
Ball?
I don't remember.
Well,
I
because
thought
it was I thought it was a T-shirt for like a movie.
No, I thought it was like I don't remember.
I don't quite remember.
It
But
was,
anyway,
it was
the
a reference of
the
some
reference
sort,
the
but it was
reference
like,
is the same either way. But
yeah.
I hated
Out.
that joke because I was like, man, that's gonna be me one day. I'm gonna show my kid Pokemon Explorers of Sky, and they're gonna be like, "Wow, when did this come out?" And I'll be like, "Oh,
I saw one of those images where it was like a starter pack for like the early 2000s, and I felt like that because I was like, wait.
that was a
them?
big chest, and I didn't open it. Oh,
You maroon.
oh, look, a big chest.
Oh, hey, nice.
What did I say when I go to the
Oh,
beach?
hi.
Anyway,
Oh my.
I don't say that. Anyway, moving on, please.
Zach, if you were to use one word to describe the women at the beach, what would it be?
Respectable.
Next question.
Next question.
Nailing this interview.
I'm totally gonna become a manager at Fidelity. Let's go. Zach showing his kid the Explorers of Sky screens. Hey, Dad, why does he have a rock addiction? Well, you see, cocaine was very prevalent in the early 2000s.
Oh, yikes.
The scourge of society.
You kids with your e-cocaine nowadays.
You're e-cocaine. That's just V-Bucks from Fortnite.
Cocaine. Holy shit.
By the way, so at my job we had Fun Friday as usual, thank God, which basically means the last 2 periods both the teachers and kids don't have to do shit. And 2 kids were on their phones and they were showing each other the Gen Z memes and really getting a big fat laugh about it, and I got to peep it because they respect me more or less as one of the younger staff that they can kind of joke with sometimes.
As a hip, cool
And,
staff member.
Let me say that I found out, I think one of the key differences between the new generation of memes and my generation of memes, and it's that they fucking hate reading. Like none of their memes
You're
has
talking about this,
few.
Adrian, right? Like stringing along just a few words now is like the new jokes, and like everyone finds it hilarious.
Well, I mean, their memes will all just be either like videos with as few or pictures with as few words as possible, and they will just laugh without, not even at the absurdity, just the absurdity of the picture or concept, without even there being a joke or structure or anything. Because I feel like with my generation of memes that we all share, a lot of our humor comes from like the absurdity of a more or less fairly developed concept, where it's like
lemon
oh,
lime
there's-
spine.
yeah, like there's at least something here, but no, for them it's just the minimum thing of spontaneity with
random
no
bits.
explanation.
Now that's as much as they can deal with, you know. Any more, and then they just can't.
Their attention span is too
They
short.
explode.
Yeah, but I feel like that's I definitely seen some attempted deconstructions of like, what's the difference between a Gen Z meme and I mean, and I think one of the key differences is literacy.
I think one of the
Critical thinking.
when I think about it, I don't even think that the kids, because you're at a special needs like middle school, right?
Yeah.
I don't even think that those kids are gonna count as Gen Z pretty soon. I'm pretty sure they're going to be redefined as Gen
Redesigned?
Alpha. Redesigned.
They're
No,
getting
no,
an update.
redefined as Gen Alpha pretty soon.
Oh, are we gonna go through them to get to Gen Sigma eventually? And they're gonna have the largest
Holy
penises.
shit.
They're going to have the largest penises.
Gen Sigma grind set. They'll be so efficient.
Yeah.
Oh,
They'll have no
Adrian.
solar free time.
That's true. Adrian, I meant to ask you last week, but you weren't there. That like math app thing, what's that called again?
Prodigy?
Oh, okay, so it is. Cause I
you make an
was
account?
substitute teaching. You know, I was substitute teaching last week.
Oh.
And one of the things was like, oh yeah, if the kids are done, they could do like this thing or Prodigy. And I'm like, that sounds. Is
Hey.
that the thing Adrian was talking about?
Hey.
And I remember like you explaining some basic concepts on like how it is. And sure enough, like kids were doing it on their computers and whatnot. And I was like, whoa, what the fuck is
Are they
this?
doing rocket science yet?
They weren't doing rocket science yet. They
I
were still
still
doing like
love
fractions.
the idea of Elon Musk using Prodigy to get kids to do his rocket science for him.
Like outsourcing his rocket science to kids?
Yeah.
Like, listen, scientists are too smart to work for such a low wage, so we gotta trick kids into doing it for us.
No,
Listen,
my fucking
the
students
kids
were
can
just
pay
doing
you if they buy their
fractions.
premium accounts.
True.
Holy
Because-
shit.
Because Prodigy does have a premium account system, because why wouldn't it?
Of course, everything has it nowadays.
This is bad, this is very bad, this is very bad, this is very bad, this is very bad. Please, please,
Yeah,
please,
did
please,
you-
please,
did
please,
you-
please. Let me go,
did
let me
you
go, let me
join
go,
the
let me go,
kids
let me go, let me go.
scraps?
Oh my god.
Did
I did
you
not,
keep
because
that
I was,
Prodigy?
Please, please.
I would.
Go.
Oh my God, Zach. I did not because I was too busy wrangling the fucking disruptive kids. Because holy shit, were they trying my patience?
Oh yeah.
Oh,
I
yeah.
think it's your problem, old man.
Fuck it. Nothing makes you feel old than being around kids, I guess. But I got an email earlier this week from a name I didn't recognize, and I was like, "Who the fuck is this?" I don't. And I was trying to think. I was like, "Okay, I don't know their first name. Do I know their last name?" And then I recognized. I was like, "Oh shit, this is the person that I subbed for. This was the permanent teacher." Because I left notes and I was like, hey, you know, if you have any questions, here's my email, or need to contact me, whatever. Because I wrote notes like, hey, these kids were real fucking up. And she goes, I'm so sorry. Like, I don't tolerate any respect or disrespect.
I don't
in my
tolerate
fucking-
any
I don't
respect.
tolerate respect.
That's making fun out of
She
me.
goes, I don't tolerate.
Oh my god.
Yeah, she goes, I don't tolerate any disrespect in my classroom. And she goes on like a tangent, like, this was absolutely like terrible. And I'm like, okay, chill, they're kids and I'm a substitute. Like,
This is what they're gonna
yeah,
do.
Don't,
It's
don't
fine.
send them to the gulag. Just like,
Say it is kind of part of the job.
No, you don't understand.
Yeah, just slap 'em on
you
the
don't
wrist.
Understand, Grant. After dealing with enough like repetitive of like certain kids, I would send some to the gulag.
okay,
They
fair
deserve
enough.
it.
I was ready to send two kids to the gulag during that day, but
Did they call you a
Holy
filthy ching
shit.
chong?
they didn't. They called me old though.
They called you old?
Yeah, because that one was like, what was it? They go, how old are you? And the other one next to him goes, that's rude to ask. I just say, I'm in my 20s. And they go, whoa, that's old. I'm like, what the fuck?
Did they expect you to say, I'm 14?
Yeah, like,
I'm teaching,
What
and
the
I am
fuck?
only a few years older than you.
yeah, like, what the fuck are you talking about?
Uh,
That old.
Hey.
how
don't
old are
know.
how old are the kids?
They were 6th graders, so like 12.
That's not even like that far away.
Yeah,
I'm
it's
old, you're
10 years.
That's
So I'm like, what the fuck? Yeah.
Oh, that's really funny. I love that.
So I just kind of walked away because I don't know. What do you say to that?
nothing. The thing
I
is,
would
you can't
no,
counter a kid.
I would say exactly what I just said. I would give him a weird look and I'd be like, that's like half of your life away. You think I'm old?
I just went okay and walked away because I'm like,
And then you left the classroom, and
Then I
went
left the
home.
classroom. Yeah, I went home because I was like, I can't do this, and I turned in my 2 weeks notice.
You should. You know
Yeah.
what I would do in that
Oh, man.
situation if a kid was just like, "Wow, you're old." I would club him over the head with my forearm and then be like, "I don't know what happened. He tripped."
Nobody
Then
say a
it's violent.
fucking word.
Like I'm behind the person that's like there being like, "Yeah, the kid's really injured. He's like in the hospital." And I look at all the other kids and I'm like just pointing at my forearm and they're all like, "Yeah, he tripped."
Oh my God.
It's so
There's
terrible.
still blood on your sleeve.
I don't wear sleeves. That's incriminating.
In the words of John Mulaney, you're never too young to learn our national no snitching policy.
Oh, I do like the national no snitching policy though, because it's true, it's real. Oboe clubbing Dawn over the head. I don't know what happened. She tripped over a rock, man.
She tripped over one of her rock collection.
In order to like, you know, preserve Evie in terms of like not making her feel sad that Oboe's leaving, he clonks her over the head and gives her
He
amnesia.
just fucking bop her.
knocks her the fuck
It's just
out.
like here, he's like, don't worry, Dawn. This is for your own good. Ow! Ah! Critical hit. No, she's dead.
But it's just like the sound of a squeaky toy when just
Oh, that's really good. That's really good. I did the math again the other day, and technically, if I wanted to be on pace for finishing paying off my loans early, which my dad is insistent upon, in 2 months I have to pay $700 a month in student loans. So the pressure is really starting to mount in terms of finding a job. But like, I'm really not looking forward to getting back into the public sector because I keep thinking about like the apparently the Chick-fil-A nearest our house has started accepting walk-in applications. And so mom's like, you could. And I was like, yeah, I could, but I could also just like die.
How did I know
it'd be
you were
better.
going to say
In
that?
fact, I prefer that to Chick-fil-A.
It might be is the thing, so I don't know. We'll see. But I don't know, man. Mikey
You could
asked a
be a
little.
union
Mikey
scab.
asked slightly earlier ago. I don't know if we still wanted to keep talking about the same topic, but Mikey wanted to strike up a conversation about the recent uptick in corporate NFTs.
He's just talking about Pepsi in particular, like Pepsi getting
Pepsi in
NFTs
particular,
again?
but like I've been noticing, or not even noticing, because it's like it's obvious they make fucking social media announcements every time that they do it. But it's just like Ubisoft has their own NFT. EA's just announced that they're going to be doing their own NFT. And all I can wait now is for the Nintendo NFT, and then I'll be like, all right, video games are cursed.
It'll be the
Yeah.
NNFT.
The NNFT.
Going back
the
to college for something else.
The Nintendo non-fungible tokens.
The Nintendo fungible token. Because Nintendo funge what Sega don't.
Nintendo Punch what Sega don't is pretty good. That's awesome.
That should be their slogan. They should steal it from Sega.
They should.
I'm trying
Who's
out
not
new
even a
food.
rival anymore.
I'm trying out. Apparently, they're a fucking movie company now more than they're a game studio.
Pretty sick. So you're
Well, I
trying
mean,
new
you
foods,
say
are
that
ya?
Sega still does make a lot of video games. Like
Yeah.
they're the ones
Do
that
they,
do the
though?
Yakuza series, for
I will
example, which is
say-
very successful.
I'm trying out some new food because I have the money to do that. I'm gonna be trying out hot dog from a hot dog place called Umai Savory Hot Dog.
Umai?
And so
Hot dog.
when that gets here, I'll probably eat them and then maybe have another 10 minutes after I eat them before I pass out from a food coma.
You need to tell us if it is umai.
I will tell you if it's Umai.
Thank you.
Suge.
It's called Umai Savory Hot Dogs, but their most popular item is the Houston Honcho.
What the fuck?
which is a hot dog laced with Houston, I guess.
No! We're gonna have a problem.
Listen, I can afford to eat a little racist as a treat.
You're gonna get canceled from Umai.
Apparently.
Can't find the teleporter. Is this big claw-looking thing? Oh,
There it is.
found it.
You ran past it like multiple times.
Oh, I
think.
did?
I think so.
Oh, I was focused on getting items. My bad.
It's
As
the
all
Clay
good
Dune
people
Strider.
do.
It's the Clay Screwdriver.
What do you think he tastes like?
Clay Dune Strider? Probably like clay.
Well,
And dunes,
you never
maybe?
know. Maybe. You never know until you try it. So
You! Oh,
I'm just saying.
no! Please! Please! No!
So
Zach's
much
dead.
stuff. Is it gonna get away?
They were both sucking my life force out of my nostrils, man.
Oh, congrats.
I thought Zach was gonna say, "Oh, they were bullying me."
Who am I, you?
Damn.
Ah, yes, I forget. Zach is the bullier. He can't be bullied.
I don't bully anybody. Name the last time that I
Ah,
bullied
that's
somebody.
Only, that's only what a bully would say.
And that's exactly. That's what you just said.
No, only a bully would say that they don't
I'm
bully
gaslighting
anyone.
you now. I'm putting a big fat stamp on your head that says gaslit.
Wow, so this now doubly proves that he's the bully.
No, I'm just a businessman.
Who?
No, it's not the money,
Insane.
Spider-Man.
Well, Spider-Man. Looks like I'm gonna gaslight you.
It looks like I'm gonna gaslight you, Spider-Man.
Looks like you're gonna cash Nick girl, keep girl, fuck. I can't speak in that accent, I'm not native.
Wait. I
Someone
can't
else do the
hear
Not
joke for me.
Kingpin native.
you. Someone else do the joke.
Someone else do the joke.
Please
Girl
save
boss
me. Do the
Spider-Man.
joke for me, please.
The time of girl boss is over, Spider-Man.
They hate to see a girl boss winning, Spider-Man.
Now I just like the idea of finding somebody who can do a really good impression, just have them say a ridiculous thing, but like, I hate to see you go, but I love to watch you leave, Spider-Man. It's like, just like, what? Are you okay? I don't want to.
I have to.
Ooh!
A reforge.
If you have 2, does that mean I have, what, 3 or 1?
I wasn't finished. God damn it! I was just saying I'm filling out my time card for my job, and I have to put it in fucking military time online. Cause if I get off at like I get out of my job at like let's say 2:45 on most days, yeah. And if I put it 2:45, it assumes 2:45 a.m. and assumes that I worked like what, fucking like 14 hours.
Sigma grind
I have to put in
sets.
14:45 instead of 2:45.
What the fuck? Oh, I hit
almost-
the ceiling.
I almost messed up because Thursday I put in earlier, so I was like, oh, I'll put in 1:35, 2:45. Oh wait, no, that would say that I worked 13 hours, so I'm gonna fix that real quick.
Damn.
I have a little,
Oh,
I have a
I'm ready
little
to
bird
get
on
my
my head.
Can't ready to get my fat check of $4.20.
Oh, hell yeah.
That's super fat.
What's happening here, Zach?
I'm trying to leave.
Okay. All right.
All right.
Oh,
we're
there
good.
you go. Oh, okay.
So Loader is one of the only characters that doesn't take any fall damage. So
Oh, that's cool.
it's a nice benefit considering that 50% of her moveset is supposed to be swinging around like Spider-Man.
You're Spider-Man.
Well, Spider-Man. Looks like you don't take fall damage.
Looks like you don't take fall damage, Spider-Man. That seems pretty bullshit, Spider-Man.
I take fall
Spider-Man.
damage.
Seems like it'll be.
Oh,
real
that was a
nice
Dune
one.
Strider!
Oh my god.
Whoa, that was cool as fuck, dude.
It was him. It was Kingpin. He was looking for you.
Spider-Man. Spider-Man, where you going?
Man. Hey, Spider-Man.
I like Spider-Man.
Spider-Man.
Listen, Spider-Man.
It's about the Mets.
He doesn't say he doesn't say Spider-Man in the movies, but he does say it in the fucking Mets memes. So that's why I say it.
Yeah. It's about the Mets, baby. The Mets. Come on, get a home run. Let's go, Mets, baby.
Yeah, it's so-
I love the Mets.
Love the Mets. Or the fucking Markiplier one. I'm gonna harness the power of Let's Play a Spider-Man.
Hello, everybody.
Hello, everybody.
Oh Lord, buddy, my name's Marco. My name's Kingpin.
My name's Mark Kingpin.
Fuck.
Hello. Really expensive.
Do it.
I don't have money.
Oh,
Coming in.
Spider-Man looks like you're not on that Sigma grind set.
There's no way I survive fighting this thing.
Well, Spider-Man.
I'm
looks like
already
whoever
dead.
Dealt it.
Look whoever smelled it.
Whoever smelt it, dealt it, Spider-Man.
Well, Spider-Man, you're smelling what I'm stepping in, you're buying what I'm selling. You're picking up what I'm putting down.
Spider-Man looks like you really roasted my pork here.
Oh, that'd be great. A Spider-Man, a version of Kingpin that just does like a bunch of like New England idioms.
Give us some other ones, Zach. What are...
No. So New England idioms aren't a specific thing. It's that category of like literally what Adrian just did, where you just make up some nonsensical thing that's supposed to represent something. So like roasting my ham or whatever. It's like, oh man, you're really drowning my oysters here, Spider-Man.
Spider-Man looks like you're $1 in my pizzas.
Oh, Spider-Man. You're really grinding my gears.
Oh. Really censoring my hentai.
You really censored my hentai, Spider-Man. That's so bad. Oh, I love it.
Perfect.
But apparently, by Zach's words, it is legitimate New England idiom.
That's what New England idiom means. It's not. Oh my God. It's not like a. Yeah, it works. Dude, I have a really bad build. I traded all of my items for a single 57 leaf clover, and I don't think that was a good idea.
I don't think it was that bad.
So the 57 leaf clover is one of the most OP items in the game, because what it does is that the game is like chock full of like randomness, right? Like items that drop and your critical hit chance and yada yada, right? The 57 leaf clover, for every individual 57 leaf clover that you have in your inventory, you'll roll a random chance encounter an additional time, and you will automatically get whatever the good result is at the end of all of the results, if that makes sense. So instead of having
But
a
you've
50...
only got one.
Well, that...
And
But
you
that...
gotta survive.
Well, listen. All right? It's called investing, you know?
Listen, Spider-Man, it's called investing.
Listen, Spider-Man, it's called investing. You're really oboing my tokens, Spider-Man.
Oh, man.
That one's Mikey's.
You're really risking my reign.
You're really risking my reign, Spider-Man. Dude, this Dune Strider needs to fuck off.
He just wants to be with you.
I don't care. Please, let me go. I'm glad I have 3 clay birdies, though. The clay birdies allow me to do this little hop, hop, hop.
I assume the distance is by how many you have.
Correct!
I like the idea of New England idioms, but they're way too long. Listen, Spider-Man, you're really Pokemoning my Mystery Dungeons Explorers of Sky here.
Spider-Man, you're really great at Ace Attorney Chroniclesing my.
Oh, we gotta finish that one.
Yes.
Trying to think.
Listen, Spider-Man, you're really Marvel Spider-Man's my no way home here.
You're really Marvel Spider-Man in my No Way Home. Oh, that's really good. Listen, Spider-Man, you're really Hideki Kamiyaing my Okami/Okami Den Okami sequel. No,
See, now you,
no!
now you gotta make a JoJo one, Zach. Okay.
Oh, Grant, you gotta help me with that one because my brain is flooding.
Listen, Spider-Man, you're really JoJo's Bizarring my Adventure Part 6, John Oceaning.
There you go. That's exactly what I was thinking of. Oh, Mikey literally just said you're really stoning my ocean. Yeah.
You're really goldening my wind here.
You're really goldening my experience here,
You're
Spider-Man.
really Yoshikageing my Kira here, Spider-Man.
These are great. This is really good. You're really DOing my Brando, Spider-Man.
You're really Jonathan my Joestar here, Spider-Man.
Oh shit. You're really gyroing my Zappelli there, Spider-Man. I gotta like shit or get off the pot, to be honest with this. Because I keep just running around waiting for enemies to become easier, but that's literally not what the game does.
We're gonna reset.
No, I might just die in a second. There's a lot of enemies, and I'm not really gaining anything to become better at beating them, so I might just die. I'm gonna go up there, and I'm gonna pick up the Predator's hood or whatever.
Is what?
Yeah, this one. It's like a headdress. I think I wear it. Ah, fuck. Yeah, look, see, now I'm wearing it.
Oh,
A wolf's mask, and I have a little bird on my head. Bird up.
you're very silent. Bird up.
Bam, bam, bam.
Birdo.
Yo, loader got
Birdo.
Bird.
Up. Just bam, bam, bam. It's just a trailer for Now I'm just kind of vibing to the music. Never mind, the music just left. I'm sorry. I shouldn't have mentioned it. It shouldn't.
I'm trying to think of more. I'm trying to think of more things for Kingpin to say, but I'm out.
Oh, for the New England idioms.
Yeah, but specifically in Kingpin's voice and saying Spider-Man at the start of it.
Mikey asks, have you guys been watching anything new lately? They've recently picked up the new Kamen Rider Revice. I don't know what that means. I know what Kamen Rider is, but I don't know what Revice means.
Well, they vice it first, and then they revice it. It's like refried beans.
Oh, so it's
Refried
like when you're
beans.
addicted to cocaine, and then you recover, and then you get re-addicted to cocaine.
Yeah, you relapsed.
Yeah, it's your vice, but again.
Oh shit. Oh, please, mercy, mercy!
I thought you were trying to die. I thought you were trying to die.
The I think the portal's over here. I'm just gonna activate it and die.
I mean, you could die if you just stop running.
Yeah, but you picked loader
Just stop running away from your problems, Zach, okay?
and just face them head on. All right, yes,
Just
ma'am.
face them head on.
Hello, Dune Strider. Dead.
Dune Strider, I have some strong words for you. You better listen up, bud, because this is the last time I'm putting up with your nonsense.
Have I watched anything recently, or like started anything new recently? I can't really think of anything. I just finished
Did
Hunter
you watch
Hunter.
the Sonic movie?
Oh, I wanted to
last
watch
night?
it. I wanted to watch it last night, but then for whatever reason, despite it being like a year old, the website that I normally go to legitimately watch movies, they didn't have it in HD. So I was like, ah, fuck.
Oh. If it's not
I-
HD, it's not worth it.
I watched a bug crawl up the wall the other day. It was pretty cool.
That sounds
pretty
riveting.
Nice. How many seasons was there for that, or was that a movie?
It was a one-off, but I think they might make a show out of it if there's more of them. If there's enough fans.
It was a concept. It was a pilot.
Yeah, as a pilot.
Sabo, it's your turn to pick a character.
Oh, I will say that I saw Encanto, I think a few weeks ago at this point. I don't remember when exactly.
Oh, did you like it?
How was it?
Have I mentioned that I saw Encanto yet?
No, you literally just did.
No.
Oh, well, in that case,
What was
I
the
liked
person
it.
with the hat?
I thought the animation was fantastic. The pacing
Yeah.
could have probably been remedied if it was longer, but you know, sometimes a movie can't be longer, I guess. The story was overall good, and the music was pretty good too, but the animation was probably the best part for me, which I like.
I will have to check that out.
I was excited about
Because
it. Yeah.
Encanto is a movie that I wanted to watch for a long time. I've already talked about it, so I don't want to get into it. But I will admit, it's the first time in a long time that I felt embarrassed because I was sitting on the Fandango like buy tickets screen, and I was less concerned about whether or not I could drive there because driving's still a problem for me. And I was more embarrassed at like, man, am I really gonna be a 25-year-old guy going to watch this kids movie?
No,
And so I
that's
didn't
it.
go.
I absolutely did that.
No, and
I-
I applaud your bravery.
Well, the thing is that like
Applaud your
the
sacrifice.
thing is that like I don't know if it's gonna be the same where
Yeah.
you live, but when I went to the movie, it was at the mall, and I was just passing. I was gonna do my daily commute where I stop at the mall to transfer, and I was like, you know what? I'm gonna see how much these tickets cost, and they cost like $10. And then when I went into the theater itself and I actually got there, there was 2 other people there. So hey, if you go and it's anything like it is in California here, odds are likely that no one will be there to judge you.
I guess that's true. I'm really glad that theaters haven't recovered yet.
Oh man.
Which I guess is bad from like an entry level employment standpoint, but also like, man, I hate theaters. They're so gross.
Yeah.
The theaters are just nasty, man.
Literally, the only reason why I didn't sneak food into the theater was because I didn't want to walk all the way to my favorite food place in the mall and then back. I feel like they probably would have not cared. They just were desperate for business. It felt like,
Probably.
given that there were
Could have
2
had
people
the
there. to
whole
see.
watermelon with you.
I will say
Could have
that
a whole 5-course meal.
Luisa gets a song in Kanto. She's the big buff one, hence the one that I
Yes.
cared about the most going into the movie.
Of course.
And it kind of slaps. Not gonna lie.
Yeah.
it kinda
Under the
slaps.
surface song.
Am I gonna die?
Well, you're basically dead, Zach.
Saba,
Did you see it too,
Saba, I want
Saba?
you to know that I will be playing as Bandit again, because Bandit is normally a good character. I just had a really bad initial spawn is all.
Did you see it too, Saba?
Oh,
There have been so many like, not trailers, but like videos
clips?
for like clips for like the songs and stuff, which I very much enjoy. It seems like a really just kind of lighthearted film.
We haven't seen the whole thing, yeah.
No, though I do also want to watch it. So yeah.
I see. I would say it's pretty dang good. They have a song about this guy named Bruno. That one also slaps pretty hard, especially at the beginning. The animation is amazing. Again, I cannot stress enough how the best part of the movie is the animation for me. It's so good.
Yeah, they do a really good job with it.
And I will say that perhaps this is just me not being used to such, I guess, as big a family or keeping track of the names and also just new people. But like, I think it's kind of ingenious how there's, let's see, the story is about a family of 1, 2, 3, 4, plus 6. So 10 characters, which is a lot for you to keep track of. And the opening song is explaining these 10 characters' relationships to each other, because explaining the family. And I think it's kind of ingenious how like it took me a lot of listens on Spotify to keep track of who's who and like get that sorted out in my head. So
oh.
that there may be something of a plan there as far as like, oh well, we'll just have a shitload of characters and they'll just listen to the song in order to get in their head who's who.
It is
And then they'll
a
watch it
nice
again.
song. Their songs are very like
It's good, yeah.
rhythmic and stuff like that, so you get into it.
I wish there were more songs, but I wish there were more songs. I wish the movie was longer. I wish certain characters had more screen time, but I would say that
I
they
wonder
didn't.
who.
Who could it possibly be?
I will actually say that the character that Louisa, the buff one, I think actually got a more or less appropriate amount of screen time. There
Really?
are other characters that wish, yeah. Yeah, she got her own song, which is more than all other characters can say in the movie. Although I think everyone in all the family members do sing at one point or another. Actually, no, that's wrong. The main character's dad, Mirabelle's dad, does not sing at any point in the movie, I don't think. No, he does. So they all sing, yeah, at the ending song. Anyway,
Yeah,
point
even
is,
if it's not about them, they still
Yeah.
sing a song.
yeah, point is, good movie. I recommend. I want to try to support movies like that are good and also not Frozen.
What, you're not excited for
That
Frozen
happened in warmer,
3?
warmer climate temperatures.
For Frozen 7.
No Frozen 7. Oh my god.
There are a lot of theories. Also, I will say one thing I like is how the ending leaves a lot of room for interpretation, a lot of theories as to what happens next in the story. So that's pretty cool.
That's fun.
Oh, Mikey said something. I've got it. I've got the dumbest movie theater in town, bruh. I've been sneaking in some really loud sounding snacks and stuff in my bag, and they never caught on once. Amen.
Like
I mean,
Pop Rocks?
I'm here to yeah, Pop Rocks.
Pop Rock segment in your mouth while you're ordering the ticket, just like.
I'm here to say that I don't know if this goes for everybody or every movie theater, but I worked as an usher at AMC, and I was essentially, because my boss was lazy, I was essentially the shift lead whenever I was on. So I was literally the person that was supposed to be like, hey, do you have any food? Don't bring that in here. And I could not give less of a shit if someone brought their own food in.
Mikey sneaking in shards of glass to munch on.
Looks like that's why you're not working there anymore, Jack.
Yes, I suppose so. But yeah, I don't know, man. I just had like such a moral like opposition to a lot of the food that we were selling, because obviously like the number one most popular food that was sold was a large bag of popcorn, right? That makes sense, because that's what you think of popcorn when you go to the movies, and the large bag is only like $2 more than the small bag, so why wouldn't you get the large for literally 3 times as much popcorn? And even with all that being said, the profit margin on the large bag of popcorn was still like
Popcorn?
95%,
Ooh.
which means that
95.
95% of what you pay for was profit. So,
Movie theaters fuck you up and fuck you over. They'll take you out back.
this is bad, by the way. This is yet another character that someone nominated that doesn't really have a lot of really good crowd control abilities. My best crowd control ability is this, to stealth and then slash with my knife.
Does that attack more than one person?
It does a big ass slash, and if it crits, they bleed to death, which is nice, but...
If it quits, they die.
hello, Lawrence.
They die.
One punch or one slide.
Alright. See if I can get the button. Did I pick that up? I did.
How
Excuse
be
me.
everyone doing? Oh, and
Oh.
Mikey's in chat.
Mikey is in chat. Lawrence, Saba wanted to argue with you about It Takes Two because it won Game of the Year last night.
Yeah, I heard.
Saba wanted to kill you.
Saba wants to kill
Just
you,
because.
as does
luckily-
So
Grant,
watch your
maybe?
back.
Luckily,
No.
hold on. I had a feeling.
I don't want to kill him. What are you saying, Zach?
That wasn't even me. Which is bullshit.
I
can't believe you would
prepared
say
this
that,
meme.
Zach.
I had prepared this meme because I had a feeling this was gonna come up.
I can't read it. The text is too small. All I know is that it's arcane and probably funny.
What is it?
I'm just saying,
Maybe
It Takes Two is a pretty good game, and then the council just freaks out.
Who's the fourth person? Oh, maybe Adrian?
He's like,
Question
maybe
mark.
Agent? He's like, I don't know what his opinion is on this.
He probably doesn't have an opinion on It Takes Two.
I know, that's what I was like, maybe? I don't know.
Dude, look at this shit that I have to deal with. Look at this.
Get good.
Can't, man.
Sorry, I was picking up food, and I do have an opinion on It Takes Two.
Oh my god, he
What's
does.
your opinion?
Industry plant.
What?
Industry plant?
Industry plans.
EA must have shilled to get that game the award.
You know what? That's a really good point. I forgot.
So not the game's actually pretty good. It's chill. Come
It
on.
looks like garbage and feels soulless.
That,
This is one thing, but the game.
All right,
is like
that's
an
by
awesome
far the
experience,
most intense opinion.
Lawrence.
that's you know what, Adrian? I can't argue with that because
It's
I
such a
don't know where to
bold
begin.
statement. You can't
It's
possibly
so-
argue with
it's
it.
so bold that like, okay, moving
So
on.
bold, it just might work.
So bold, it just might work.
Die. Look at all these motherfuckers.
Anywho, if there was a
Why didn't it get
category
clear?
for most like fun gameplay or diverse gameplay, I would give it to, It Takes Two.
Deathloop.
But as a
It's
whole,
a Deathloop.
As a
I don't know. I still think that It Takes Two has better gameplay than Deathloop, but yeah.
yeah, I can't compare anything on that end. But anyway,
Saba
as a
doesn't
whole
play video
game,
games.
meh.
She plays
Like-
Genshin Impact,
Oh,
which barely
then-
qualifies.
So then you are taking the
was
narrative
Lawrence.
and bringing it down.
Same
way
thing for
low because
Lawrence.
of
Why do
that.
you think he's defending
Well,
It
that's
Takes
the thing. The
Two?
narrative's a part of, especially with that kind of game. It's like one of the forefront things that's a part of the game, Lawrence.
That
Okay.
was gameplay.
Yes, and that's why gameplay is half of the equation.
It is
right?
a couch co-op in 2021 that's actually successful.
As I described
That's
to Zach,
incredibly
if the
rare
gameplay, if the
with a
gameplay
company
was like
that's not AAA.
if the gameplay was a 9 out of 10, right? You have to bring in the story as well, which is probably, what is it? A 4, 2 out of 10, which I balance it out to like a 6 out of 10. Lawrence, okay?
Wow. All right, so I saw the list for the other nominees. Who have you chosen? for Game of the Year?
So literally, I don't want to speak for them necessarily, but literally
Grant had the
both
same answer.
Grant and Saba independently said that they didn't have a nomination. They just both didn't want It Takes Two to win.
Why are we arguing then? What is this for? There is no
I
backup.
think Super Mario Sunshine should have won Game of the Year.
Shut
I
up.
think
Super Mario 2!
Tetris. I think
Super
Tetris
Mario 2, baby!
won.
Game of the Year!
Game of the Year.
Listen,
By the way,
Spider-Man Super
Lawrence.
Mario 2 should have won Game of the
Yes.
Year
I don't know
2021.
if you heard, but Zach said that Genshin isn't a real game, that us playing.
Why
it
are
doesn't
you?
mean
Listen,
anything.
you're the one who's
Huh?
trying to assault Lawrence for his opinions on It Takes Two. Don't wrap me into
But
this.
see, what do you mean? I heard you say it. I heard that call out, Zach.
Regardless
I
of whether or
also-
not I said it, we're
Me
still
out.
talking about something else.
Oh,
I
but
was
see, he's
thinking a
trying to
call out
run
post on
away.
their Twitter.com.
Isn't Genshin just Breath of the Wild but with gacha?
Yes.
Yes.
No.
Stylist.
And Breath of the Wild barely counts as a game. That's
You
not
see-
true at all.
You see where the crazy opinions are starting to
God.
Breath of the Wild's
You see
barely a
what the
video game, alright.
Who are you, Pat?
We're at each other's throats today.
Yeah.
All right, let's find some more controversial topics.
No, we didn't finish with It Takes Two. I want to hear you guys yell at each other more.
I think it takes more.
I think it takes more than
Oh
two.
yeah, Mikey says it like something good that I brought up as well. That like
Psychonauts,
Psychonauts
yeah.
nor what is it, Ratchet and Clank got anything.
Which are
was
both
interesting.
incredibly insulting because both of those games are very good. Will we ever play
I
them
was
on stream?
also-
No. But
They're
that's not the
Well, we
point.
will never go within 30 feet of them.
I was also surprised Resident Evil Village didn't get any rewards.
Well,
Like,
what's
I guess
her
except for
face?
best performance.
What's her
Give it a
face got
try.
sexy
I mean, like,
ass.
yeah,
It's the
best
only thing that
performance, but-
matters. So
I mean,
Love wins.
I guess. I was like, oh, that's kind of surprising. But that might just be me biased because I like the game.
Why do you like the Game Lords?
Because insert controversial topic here.
By the way,
Controversial topic. I like game.
Motherfucker.
I'm not backing down on my stance that It Takes Two was a fucking bribe deal. So I don't know. I haven't watched Arcane. Tell me if my slot in that meme still makes sense given my stance.
Kinda.
Kind of, I guess.
Because
It's a
there's
little,
no
it's a
fucking
little
way.
low res, but yeah.
There's no
it works.
fucking way that any award of the people would give It Takes Two the slot.
Well, because
Again, so bold.
they did have the award of Player's Choice, which they revealed like pretty early on, and I think the winner wasn't the winner of that. Like, I don't remember.
That was
What was it,
Deathloop.
Saba? Do you remember? It was like super early. It was like the very first award that they showed. It didn't even get a position on the stage. It was the
Was
Player's
it not
Choice.
Deathloop?
I mean, she's
The Player's
muted, so I
Choice
guess
Award.
she's just not going to respond. But that's fine.
Sama's
Anywho.
dead.
I mean, Psychonauts
It is
is in the game
unfortunate.
suggestions channel. Yes, I know it is on the list to play eventually, but if I keep saying that we're gonna play it and then not playing it, eventually I'll be able to harvest your blue balls for money.
What the fuck?
What? That's what streamers do, right? They make promises and then don't keep them.
Interesting, word usage, but yeah, technically, I guess so.
Why is Zach talking about my balls? I do all the time. You're just not here most of the time.
Oh yeah, Halo Infinite won Player's Choice, which is
Oh, I thought that I was going on a different tangent there, Lord.
Hey, can I ask?
Oh yeah, Mikey's balls.
Can I ask something real quick to you guys?
Yeah.
You can try.
Has anyone outside of its release and the awards thought about It Takes Two?
Yeah, Saba and I did. Because Saba and I wanted to play it co-op on stream, but the game's $40.
yeah, it's expensive.
Oh, well, there you go. That's why
Saba's
Saba's
in a
on mute.
canyon.
That's why Saba's on mute, because she's currently falling down a canyon, yeah.
I've thought about It Takes Two 3 times. Once when I saw Oni Plays do a playthrough of it. A second time after I watched the first episode and thought, wow, this game looks soulless and shitty and I hate it. And a third time when the awards came up just today.
I don't know. Calling it soulless might be a little dramatic. Narratively, I can definitely agree that the narrative is a little... It's not even necessarily that the narrative is lackluster. It's just more that the narrative is uncomfortable, which isn't necessarily a bad thing. It's just something that I don't enjoy, hence me not wanting it to win. But the gameplay is very inspired. And when I say when I say that the gameplay is inspired, I guess I should clarify that to say that the actual co-op design that they employ is very well thought out and put together. So, I don't know. It deserves some praise for that. Does it deserve praise for almost anything else? I don't know, but maybe. The game has a
little bolder at the end, but
the
yeah.
game has a Street Fighter, which is cool.
It do.
I don't know. It's very fun to play. It's like, especially since you're supposed to play it with a friend, so
Yeah.
both of y'all
I
are
don't
having a
have
whale of a
friends.
time.
Can't wait for me and my friend to both spend $40 and get EA 80 total. So we can
I
role
think
play.
you.
Well,
I
only
think
one of you have to spend
you
$40.
spend
Can't
40
wait to
once, and then
kill
2
a-
people can play at the same time.
Endearing.
Can't wait to
stuffed
give
animal.
EA $40 and then roleplay with my friend as a struggling married couple.
It's true. I don't
ends
know.
up, you know,
I don't know if
hurting
Lawrence
us.
can
EA
defend
is
against that
involved with
one.
the game, but the studio, a different, like, small indie studio made the game. It's not like EA had their hands all over it the entire time. Which studio did it? Come on, let me double check.
It's the same. It's the same studio that did A Way Out and Brothers.
Yeah, I know, but I need the name.
Can't remember the name either.
Anywho,
He's like
Lawrence, it's
Symbiote.
almost like, you know,
He's
in
like
this game,
Symbiote.
my opinion of narrative, it matters to me, you know? That's what...
No, I
like
mean,
narrative
I mean, I
impact
get
on
it.
me.
You're a you're a writer, so I respect that opinion. I'm just saying, I think you're just bringing it super low because of that.
Oh, man. See, there's
'Cause
also a difference between,
like,
what?
actually, I do want to hear your whole thing of the narrative bits that you don't like, and I want to challenge you. Don't mention the elephant.
Don't mention the elephant. Okay, there's
But that's like
lot
a
of,
big. That's like a big part.
That is a
Yeah,
big,
well,
also another big part
get
is like
over it.
one, the actual characteristics. Oh my god. I can't speak at all if Zach
Oh,
exists.
Lawrence, that's my
It's just
favorite thing that you've
impossible.
said on stream in a long time.
It's I mean, I gotta
It's
tell you the
exhausting
truth.
to have to listen to people say that over and over as a
It's
person who has
exhausting
no
because
taste. I know.
that's a single segment from a rather longer than you would expect game.
The
single
part where
segment.
they're
There's
the part where they're in the
nothing.
clock is really
I'm
cool,
gonna-
man.
I don't have
Go
the
ahead,
power to
Salma.
mute Zach. It's unfortunate.
Oh, I'm sorry. You're so
But,
quiet. I can't hear you.
It's so, what do you do? You're gonna talk like this? Is this good enough for you? Okay, I'm done.
I'm so sorry, Mom. I didn't mean to make you mad.
You're
Oh.
gonna repent in the corner, okay? Deal with you. Anywho, Lawrence,
Yes,
there's a
I'm
difference,
on.
I think, in my mind between like meh writing and just outright like cruel and like horrible writing, okay? But you have to understand, the elephant thing is horrible. It's not just meh, it's horrible. That's why everyone talks about it. But besides that, I'm gonna throw that in the corner because that's what you asked me. Besides that, you have the characters themselves, like the woman and the dude. Like, she's a horrible. Like the way
There you
she
go, I made her
talks
a
is
little better.
horrible. She's the way, like her dialogue and even like his dialogue. It's like the characters themselves are just unlikable to like the
Yes.
nth degree. The dialogue
point.
is a lot of cheesy like one-liners and stuff that it's just not good. Having to hear it is not good. Being there is uncomfortable. I don't want to be in between that.
I mean,
I wonder if we were.
how should I approach this? Like, yeah, they're unlikable in the beginning, but then they change as per rules of character development.
Well, sure, but then there's also the idea of like it's
I don't know
fine to
about
be
that.
like a quote unquote unlikable character, but there's degrees of unlikability, and I think by the time you reach to that point, everyone kind of hates them and doesn't want to be anywhere near them.
Then
Have something to hook you in as a player.
Yes.
And the game
Yeah, it-
falls
it
flat at that
does.
because I hate them already, and I don't.
Alright.
Okay.
Maybe I should change that
Anywho.
meme. so it's,
Debaters,
like,
please take
absolutely
your seat.
Adrian.
Mikey, I had to bring back the elephant talk because it's like I understand he
Well,
doesn't
I
want
just said,
to talk about
I
it.
just said I challenge you not to mention it. You can still pull it out.
No,
if you
I
really
don't
want.
even know.
What the elephant is. I didn't get that far into watching the game, and I still hate it.
Well,
There's a part in the game where
You can't
the
finish the game. What are you doing?
Let's describe it. There's a part of the game where they're like, we have to make our daughter cry, right? Because they think that's the way they're gonna do. So what they do is they go to her favorite stuffed animal, and it's like talking, and it's super cute and wholesome. And what they do is they drag this thing to the edge of the table with like ripping off its
Ripping
arms
off
as
its
it gets
ears.
stuck and its limbs, and all the while it's crying to not do this. To
And
like, don't do this.
screaming
There's
in
there's
agony.
other things we can do, and it's like they pull it to like the edge and they throw it off. It is.
And people
Traumatic.
forget to mention, like I'm not gonna deny, like all that is true, but people always forget that these parents, and obviously this is going to enrage the council one more time. The parents didn't want to take care of the elephant, or they didn't want to kill it. If you were listening to their dialogue, they were saying like, "Oh man, I really don't want to do this, but this is the plan that I had."
Whatever, the
Like,
wife
oh
is just
no, I wanted to
complaining
make
about
this.
it, right?
I wanted to make
She's like,
this kill
stop complaining
clean.
about it. We just have to do it. I think
I
the
wanted to
dad
make
was
this
more like, I don't want
clean.
to. This feels
Lawrence,
weird.
EA pay you too.
It's not EA. Again, I respect Haze Lights too. I like that studio. Stop bringing up EA.
I would like them too if the checks were in the mail.
Oh my god.
All right, let me ask you a complete non sequitur. When you guys eat a hot dog, do your teeth touch the buns only, or when you bite in, or do they touch the meat immediately?
How do you eat a
How
hot
long's
dog
the
that
dog?
doesn't eat the meat?
I mean, okay, so when you bite into it, are the buns top and bottom facing up and down respectively, or is the middle, or is the hinge of the bun on the bottom and the hot dog on top?
Do buns have hinges? I guess
where
the
the
middle. I
bread
guess the
meets.
part where they connect. Okay, I understand.
Yeah, it's on the
So the
bottom.
part where they connect to be out, do you eat them? Because that's
It's on,
like how you,
it's on
that's
the
like how a
bottom,
cartoon
otherwise
makes
all my
them.
condiments fall out.
Exactly.
Really? I'd eat them like a Subway sandwich or a Subway.
What the fuck?
Yeah,
Why?
that
You're
doesn't
eating
make
Subway
no
sandwiches.
sense, Adrian.
Do you put stuff on it or no? Is it just?
I usually put a lot of stuff on it. Maybe like.
How does it not fall out?
Usually just like ketchup.
I eat
I know some
carefully.
places find it
You put it on the
sacrilegious.
bread?
I get it, but ketchup all the way.
I hold it like
sometimes
I hold it with the
mustard.
meat facing up and the hinge facing down, but I'll bite into it as I turn it slightly and turn my head.
Oh.
Such a
I think I
that's such an
understand.
intricate like maneuver.
I just was
to
thinking
eat a
about
hot
this because I'm
dog.
eating this hot dog. Anyways, halftime over. Let's get back into why It Takes Two sucks.
All right, Spider-Man,
halftime
we're
show.
back to shitting on It Takes Two. Everybody in
Anyway,
this call is in
Lawrence.
agreement.
I don't know what to tell you. I
Everybody
feel
else.
like that's a big part of the game, and I really would like. And it's like that's why maybe if I were to play it with Zach, I would be like okay, because we would be more or less focusing on the gameplay, as I would be complaining about the story. But I don't know. The story is just like
I feel
Okay.
I feel like if I may explain, because I did not play the game myself, right?
you
I
didn't?
did watch a full playthrough of it, where the two people who were playing the game co-op, the entire time were lamenting how unlikable the characters were at the beginning, right? And so
Alright.
I do wonder if I had been watching the game without that pretense, like if I was just watching the game with no commentary whatsoever, I do wonder if I would have had the same opinion. Because my opinion is that yes, the characters are unlikable, and you know, although Lawrence attests that they get better towards the end of the game, I don't necessarily agree with that. They still seem pretty insufferable towards the end, but I wonder if that's just because I was predisposed to, you know, think that they were insufferable.
You guys remember that scene in the PlayStation 4 Spider-Man, the recent-ish one before
Spider-Man.
the one where you play as Peter Parker, the one before they introduced Miles Morales
Yeah.
in PlayStation series. Do you guys remember that scene where all the? Or actually, no, I don't remember. This is a scene from either the first one or second one. Either way, recent Spider-Man PS4 game. There's a scene where all the fucking villains break out, and they nearly kill Spider-Man to death, right?
Yes.
That's usually what happens when you kill someone.
Man, I hate it when I'm
it
being
feels,
killed
it
to
feels
death.
like Lawrence is Spider-Man and we're all the villains.
oh my
That's
god.
why I put the JoJo's thing. I don't want it to feel like everyone's ganging up on Lauren, so that's why I haven't said much.
It's
That's not
just
fair.
it's just
just
rough
can't
because
believe
like Lawrence's
this nice
opinion
game.
Lawrence's opinion is totally valid. It's just like it just differs so fundamentally from everybody else in the call.
I
In the
like
call
well,
specifically,
let me-
'cause,
let me
like,
tell
if I
you
go
spec-
outside the call, it's not a controversial opinion to say, oh man, It Takes Two is pretty good.
Let me tell you something
Look
real
at this
quick.
call
It Takes
alone
Two is pretty good. It's definitely not Game of the Year though.
compared to, all right, what's your nominee? Like Grant and Saba have said.
Okay, well,
that
so
none of their
so
nominees
so your
are-
question is obviously under the pretense of the nominees, right?
Yes.
Because my personal vote for what would have been Game of the Year would have been any number of indie games.
Fair. Valid.
I don't know, I would have put like Ratchet and
Psychonauts.
All right, that's valid.
because the Ratchet and Clank I think was on that list, right? It was a nominee.
Yeah,
Dude,
I
I'm
believe
gonna
so.
fucking die. There's too many fire people here.
Let me say real quick. Grant, you mentioned that the only reason you didn't participate was because you didn't want Lawrence to feel like all of us were ganging up on him. So if you were speaking, you would be joining the dark side.
True.
Yeah, that's true, but I don't want all four of us to be like, Lawrence, this game fucking sucked." Like, that's so mean.
Maybe you can like reach across the bridge here and say it in the nicest way possible.
Lawrence, you know how Lawrence, you know this game that you personally made? It sucks. I hate it. I hate it. I hate you, and I think
I hate it and I
you're
hate
an
you.
asshole.
Yeah.
Yeah, it turns out I'm defending this game
personal
because I designed one of the side characters. So I'm like, oh man, I know.
The main character's name is
Be
fucking.
success.
What if they name the main character after you?
You were in it.
It would be
Like the
wonderful.
main guy.
If
The
I
main
was
guy
a
would be
lazier,
digitized.
more insecure person, I could probably be the husband in that game.
Damn.
More insecure?
Damn. Holy shit.
What? Where?
Oh my god.
What's the levels? I don't
Oh,
know.
it's getting warm here.
I haven't.
Wow.
Warm here.
Oh my god!
Oh
Give me
my
a second. I
God.
need to go downstairs and get my fucking meat thermometer just to see if I'm fucking thoroughly roasted, man. Like, holy shit!
Oh my god.
We were literally like all five of us like marching down on either side of an alleyway, pinning Lawrence in, and like Zach is next to Saba, and they both have knives on Lawrence, and then Saba just went out and just stabbed Zach in the throat. And
So I
then
was
went back and
like, I
went
haven't
Lawrence.
had enough opportunities to stab Lawrence yet. I'm just gonna fucking murder Zach real quick.
My bloodlust can't be satiated with just Lawrence.
It has to be more.
Oh my. I,
Like, we're all-
I should clip that.
We all have our knives out. We're about to stab Caesar to death, and then like when Brutus says something, the two of the expressions start hitting each other.
Man.
There you go. I threw a marker in. That way I could find that again later.
God damn.
God.
More
Here.
insecure? That's gonna be my fucking sub notification. I'm gonna grab that audio. Oh, it's
Okay.
so good.
I like how it stopped everything dead in its tracks too.
I'm over here in the alleyway getting mugged by all you guys, and even I had to go, whoa, hold
Like,
up.
whoa, what the fuck, dude?
Whoa.
Anyway.
Oh, man.
Well, back to Lawrence.
Well, I'm
Anyway.
glad that we were all able to come to a consensus about It Takes Two not being that good. I'm glad that
Oh.
we were able to discuss this reasonably.
Yeah, all of us,
Like
huh?
50% of it was great. The other 50% of it was not good. Not good at all.
50% of it is bad, and the other 50% bought its way to Game of the Year.
See, now I didn't say that, but he said
such
it.
a
Losing-
bold
I think I've gone to the point where I can't tell if Adrian still is like, if I don't know if this is a bit or if it's
Or if
like-
he's being legit, I can't
Like-
can't answer that for you. I don't know.
all I can do is like laugh along, like okay,
Smile and nod.
smile and wave, boys. Smile
EA needs
and wave.
fucking something, I guess, and this is what they bet their horses on.
Damn.
Well, because what were they? Because this is like the 5th annual Game of the Years, right? Game of the Years, Game of the Year.
Give me the years.
No, I think it's more than that.
Can you look
Holy
up real
shit.
quick what the previous Games of the Years have been?
I want to say like one of the first one. I remember Dragon Age Inquisition one.
Because well, it specifically has to be the Game Awards, like this particular.
Well, yeah, there's a
particular
lot
one.
of.
Well,
Game of the
because
Year
last year
edition.
felt like it was bought because it was Last of Us 2, and that game super didn't deserve it. Like deserved it,
It
even
didn't
less than
deserve
It Takes
any of
Two.
the other 8 awards it won either, too. So
Correct. Yeah.
All right, time to hide that opinion too.
See, Lawrence is the
Lawrence
kind.
just likes video games.
Lawrence just kind of likes video games, and I find that really commendable, and I'm kind of jealous.
Lawrence, I'll kill
Man,
you with my
to
bare
not have a
hands.
single critical thought pass through your head must be really
Oh my
nice.
god.
You have the ability to
Jesus Christ.
I have to pass it on because Saba's dealing DOT to me, alright?
Sneak attack.
I was
You were
about to say, I'm
already
not.
stabbing him, and then you brought out a secret knife to stab him even more.
Oh man.
I'm not even mad that I'm able to not overanalyze some of these games and just enjoy when I'm playing.
Can I,
I have the list here.
Can I
It
mention
takes-
something? Oh, sorry, go on.
Oh, actually, yeah, go ahead.
I was gonna say,
can
can I
wait on
mention a non sequitur that the elephant thing that you described reminds me of?
What does it remind you of?
So there are shows where like actors or just people get together and play D&D and record and upload, and like the show is their campaign, right?
I haven't watched that in a while. I should, though.
Well, there's multiple of them. There's a few big ones, but
Nah, there's
some
the
are bigger than
one.
others. Anyway, there was this one that was actually sponsored by a bunch of things. Was actually not pretty popular. Not as big as the name one, but like it was like sizably, it was like pretty big. But it catastrophically ended suddenly when the DM, who was pretty liberal leaning and generally a cool guy thus far, decided, hey, you know what that my campaign needs that I'm not gonna, because the nature of a game is more or less improv, where you don't clear the entire thing with your sponsors because it's improv and that's the show. But he decided one day to be like, you know what, I have a couple of women players in my table, and their characters, some other characters are also women. I'm gonna pick this one character whose player is a woman and whose character is a woman, and I'm gonna spend 30 minutes describing how this player's character is violently sexually assaulted, and I'm gonna describe that in great detail, and that'll be good for the stream. And then he did it, and then unsurprisingly, all the sponsors dropped, the show ended, and the guy was canceled.
Jesus.
That just seems
And then
like
he-
he was not.
And then he didn't win Game of the Year.
And then he
He didn't win.
and then he was
I
and then he
did-
was elected as creative director of Naughty Dog.
I found the all the winners. If you guys would like to know,
I would like to know. I want to know how many of these bought their way there.
starting in 2014,
Holy
Dragon
shit.
Age Inquisition
That's a good
was
game.
the first one. 2015, Witcher 3.
Yeah.
That one makes
that's,
sense.
that's understandable.
Yeah.
Which is
20
funny because I played that and I was only okay.
Lawrence is just full of bad opinions
Woof.
today.
Woof.
I mean, like, did I say it on stream or was it just a conversation with Zach when it was just us on a Sunday stream? But like, I don't know. I feel like the story for The Witcher assumes that you've played the other games or at least know the history of it.
Kinda,
So like,
yeah.
it starts throwing terms that I don't understand or like history about Geralt that I wouldn't know in game. Like, Geralt, you were part of this group, and I'm like, I was.
Okay.
The Witcher.
Like,
You use the Sunday Smasher to defeat the Violent Turbans.
yeah, violent turbans, and you gotta also board their ship, the Galadriel. It's like, what are all these? It's like,
No,
you know them, you work with them.
Galadriel
Like, I
was
work
the
with
name
them.
of the elf queen from Lord of the Rings.
No, Galadriel's the name of that one European, I think it's British magazine about a bunch of just racist like pricks.
Oh god.
Talking about. Anyway, Lawrence,
Oh,
please
no, sorry,
continue.
that's the Lad Bible.
No, I mean, that's all I
I was
can
thinking of the Lad
say.
Bible.
Oh,
Okay, I guess
okay.
we're-
Is Witcher 3
Continue.
good? I assume it is.
Alright.
Witcher
like,
3 plays very well. I believe if you and I talked about it on a Sunday stream, it was probably because I was telling you that I couldn't get it to work on my PC, and I was upset.
Moving on, we got 2016 was Overwatch.
That aged
Yeah.
well. I mean, to be fair,
Well, I
in
guess it
20
would also depend on what's around it as well.
well,
right?
about to
But
say in
games are there.
2016 when that game came out, I would agree with that. Nowadays,
Yeah.
absolutely not. And I'm not even just
Well, but
talking
it's
about
been
the
5
I'm not even
years.
just talking about the Blizzard stuff either.
Well, yeah, the game sucks. now.
Just
Hey,
now
real
it's better. When it
quick.
first
I just
came
wanted
out,
to
it was pretty
show you
good, but-
guys how absolutely fucked I am for the next little bit because I wasn't paying attention and I activated these things called Shrines of the Mountain, where the idea is that every time you activate them, it doubles the amount of bosses you fight.
You're a
Oh, yikes.
fool.
Wow.
I-
The thing is, I guess we can also do the Game Award stuff on the metric of whether or not a game lasted well. Like, it's still really good now.
Well, because
So I
that's
guess we
the
could also
point of
talk about
game
it in
of
that
the
pretext.
year, right? Is that it was the game of that year. It doesn't necessarily need
Yeah.
to have longevity.
No, I know. I'm saying we could also include whether or not, like, we think
Oh, okay,
now it
sure.
still stands out as well.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So, like, obviously, as we were on Overwatch, like, it was great when it first started out and for, like, a pretty good amount of time, but then, like, as we were saying now,
It just lost. It
No,
just
it
lost
is. No.
itself. It like I don't understand why TF2 lasted longer than Overwatch.
You don't.
I could
understand?
explain a couple of
good.
reasons.
No, like
TF2
legit.
is
Can
good.
you please?
Yeah, first of all, the art style is actually sincere and done by professionals. That
Excuse
have
you. What
history,
about big asses though?
right? The fundamental art style of TF2 has a lot of really solid fundamentals. The design of Overwatch is very cluttered. The silhouettes are okay, but the values are very garbled and not very well read. TF2 works with two colors, red and blue, and sometimes brown. And so, just visually, everything strikes out more. The community has had much longer time to mature in age and doesn't base itself entirely off porn.
TF2 has a lot of memes, Mikey says.
TF2 has a lot of
TF2
memes.
does have a lot of memes. That's true.
It was also created in the heyday of Valve, so it had a community besides TF2 to kind of rally around it. Like, it's part of the pantheon of Valve's golden games, and Overwatch had, well, I don't know, it had
I
WoW
guess
to
it
back
had
up.
WoW. Because it was an Activision Blizzard game, and that was back when,
Right.
and it released during the time period where people still had
But-
faith that Blizzard could make a good video game.
But obviously, Overwatch releases on an entirely different engine than WoW.
That's true.
For obvious reasons. TF2 is used much like Bethesda has used the same engine. TF2 uses Source Engine, which has been used in like 14 of Valve's best games. Which are also all first-person shooters, which again, connecting web to help support it even more.
Whoever that was in the background agrees.
Yeah.
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 Yeah, also gameplay is snappier, simpler, a lot of focus on heavy individual single hits that lead to more exciting performances in-game as a spectator.
A lot of focus on the heavy.
The game focuses, for the most part, on really rewarding single shots with good precision. Snipers, shotguns, etc., etc. Heavy Empire are exceptions, but, exceptions to the rule. Gameplay is focused on 9 heroes that can do slightly different things with different weapons. Overwatch is loaded, along with some other stuff. But that's my explanation so far. Need I go on?
I mean,
'Cause
it
if
makes
I do,
a, I
I'll
mean,
ramble.
it makes a lot of sense. It's just one of those things where, like, I don't know. I'm not really into either, right? But like,
Right.
I had a higher opinion. I had a higher opinion of TF2 despite having never played it, like, residually, entirely because of the character trailers.
Right, and that's part of it. The characters are extremely memorable and well-defined, whereas Overwatch...
Has Tracer and only Tracer.
Well, the thing is that Overwatch is incredibly diverse in theory. TF2 is 9 dudes, and their characters are more memorable and distinct than a lot of Overwatch characters are.
True.
Because there's fewer of them,
Partially.
which makes sense.
Anyway, TF2 never won a Game of the Year, but it was created before Game of the Year was a thing, I guess.
Yeah. Moving on to 2017 is Breath of the Wild.
Yeah, and that deserves
It was
it.
pretty big for what it was, yeah.
Have we ever had a
20.
discussion on equipment durability?
We never
Yes.
actually had the full-scale discussion.
I remember
to
us
be
saying
fair.
so many times, we should have a discussion sometime.
We should have that
on the
discussion
extreme.
someday. I don't know. Do you guys really want to open up that can of worms today?
I got 8 minutes left.
Yeah,
Let's
let's not.
finish the items first.
Grant needs 2 hours at least.
I need
to
2
go to
hours at
war.
least to fight Zach on this.
Let's finish up the list of Game of the Years.
2018 God of War.
Fair.
Sure, that's okay, I guess. I'm just trying to think.
2019 Sekiro.
I'm just trying to think of like other games that came out in these years that were like popular.
Boy Simulator.
What?
Game
Voice
God of
Simulator?
War. Boy Simulator.
Boy.
Boy.
Boy Simulator could have been something very different.
Yeah, that's how I was confused. 2019 Sekiro: Shadows Die Twice.
I
I
think
mean,
my
sure.
runner-up for that was, what do you call it? What's that cowboy game?
Red Dead.
Red Dead
Red
Redemption
Dead?
2.
Yeah, Red Dead 2.
Red Dead
Yeah.
Redemption
was
2
the
can
runner-up.
suck my dick. That game sucks. Fuck
and
you,
then
Lawrence.
Well, look, I didn't defend it. I just said that was a runner-up.
I can't
Lawrence,
see.
I
I
know
can't
it's
see
your
your. I
favorite
can't
game
see
of
your
all
face.
time.
I can't see your face. So I took a shot in the dark, hoping that
No.
you were being like, oh well, I liked it.
No, I don't care much for the Red Dead
The
game.
Red Dead Redemption 2, I can appreciate like the idea behind the game of it just being like, yo, let's actually put 1,000,000 trillion hours into making the most realistic, quote unquote, like outdoors simulator that we possibly can. But that game is so unfathomably decadent that it makes me sick just thinking about it. Like, did you really need to make it so that way the horse's testicles shrink in the cold? Did you really need to have
Obviously.
somebody
Obviously.
crunch for hundreds of hours to do that?
It's
that-
like 24 karat gilded 100% dark chocolate.
Like, why? Like, you didn't need that. You know?
The reason why I just remember that Red Dead was the runner-up was because my previous boss, when I was working at the mall,
Was pissed.
he played both Red Dead and Sekiro, and he was like talking to me, like trying to figure out which one would win the Game Awards.
Dead.
Goodbye, sir. So yeah, that's just why I remembered it.
Then 2020, Last of Us Part 2, and most recently, obviously, It Takes Two for 2021. So those are all of
Hurts my
the
soul.
Game of the Years for the Game Awards.
Man, really? It's been
It
around
even
since-
shows the millions of viewers, which it has grown immensely.
Well, I mean,
I'll put it
I would
in
assume that there'd be a
2016
huge
2017
spike
grew.
after 2018, where they revealed the. Wait, what it is 3.8 to 11.5? What year is that?
3.8 to 11.5 is 2016 to 2017.
And then 2017 to 2018 is the 11 to 26.
Yep.
Okay, because one of those years is where they got the reveal trailer for Death Stranding.
Oh yeah.
And that was
Here,
the
I'll
one
put the whole thing.
and that was the one that really did it. All the Microsoft
Even chose
Theater being
the-
the venue.
the
All right,
venue.
who hasn't picked a character yet?
Adrian and Lawrence.
What's the guy on the top right?
Top right, that is Rex. I can play as him. Okay. Will I ever beat the game on normal? Probably not. This game is really hard.
No.
Anyway, I don't know, man. I kind of like having Lawrence have an opinion that not everybody shares, just because Lawrence is not really like an obstinate person, and so it's really interesting hearing how Lawrence like argues his
It
beliefs.
sounds like he's not here, man. I miss Lawrence. Remember when he was part of theater mode?
Sometimes I can
Well, I
still
mean,
hear his voice.
he is fired
Yeah.
for having wrong thing, but that's a joke, obviously. But yeah, I don't know. It's just interesting because it's like I like I've had arguments with Lawrence before, obviously, but I don't think I've ever heard Lawrence have to like defend himself before. And so I don't know. It was a learning experience
I don't feel
for
like
me.
I have to defend myself, not because I think I'm right, but because like I don't. It's people's opinions.
And not because you think you're, because you are.
Oh. Oh.
Have
know
we
what
all
game-
defended something?
You
from
know what
Zach?
game I would have given Game of the Year over It Takes Two? Deltarune Chapter 2.
Is that really a game?
Is that?
It's more deserving than I think It Takes Two is.
Like,
Mm,
yeah, and
I-
I can't tell.
I can't really. I don't know if you're joking, which is why I don't necessarily know if I want to agree. Because I will say, I do think that Deltarune Chapter 2 is going to have a more long-lasting effect on the gaming sphere than It Takes Two will. Even after It Takes Two won Game of the Year.
Well, yeah, because I don't know how many chapters are.
Yeah, because
There's gonna be 7, but I think the next 3 are gonna come out all together for pay.
Ooh.
Because Toby Fox now has his own little studio full of extremely talented people he scraped up from Twitter.
Oh, I thought you scraped off your Homestuck.
You scraped them off the
Tomato,
ground.
tomato.
True.
They fell. He had to scrape them off the ground.
Yeah.
Rockstar
from
can code in horse balls shrinking, but doesn't want to make more GTA 5 single player content.
True.
GTA 5
We're waiting.
needs to die one day. Like it
has
can't live forever. That's a
No,
that's
Zach,
a
you have to
crime.
help Dr. Drace find his music that was stolen.
God damn
Is
it.
that the new trailer? God damn it. Speaking of hard opinions, I think I went off on Zach. Not on, like, against Zach, but, like, because you mentioned a little bit about GTA, and I just went off, like, let it die so that a new game can be made.
Please. You know how God punished humanity for creating the Tower of Babel and having the hubris to think that they could, reach heaven without his permission? I think that something very similar is going to happen to GTA 5 soon, because humanity is not allowed to create something that cannot die.
Yet Skyrim's still been around.
But
still
Skyrim
being
isn't. But Skyrim has been dead. It's just like a zombie, I guess, because it's like, who's still buying Skyrim?
I did.
No. Wait.
Oh yeah, I was gonna be like, if Zach was gonna say, well,
No,
who
people that actually
of
count.
importance? Yeah, who of importance?
No,
has
I was
got
gonna.
it?
No, I'm not gonna say who of importance. I mean, like, did you really buy Skyrim again?
I bought the VR version.
Well, that's
like,
different.
not
The
too
VR
long
version
ago.
has like new shit, and it's a new way to experience it. I thought you meant like, oh, I bought it for like the Nintendo Switch when I already had it.
I bought it for
PC.
the smart fridge and the anniversary edition.
This sort of
Really?
thing.
I had it for PS3 originally, and then I bought it for PC, and then I bought the special edition
A special
then
edition
I
for
bought the
what?
VR
Special edition. I thought
for
the special
PC
edition
because
was-
it stopped working on my new computer,
Oh. Fair.
and then I
The
bought the
special
VR
edition was
copy.
free if you had the previous copy, unless I'm forgetting.
No, you had to have the legendary edition of the original, and I did not.
Ah, there you go.
Skyrim needs to die. Even Persona 4 wasn't milked as much
to
as
be fair,
GTA
we're
5.
waiting for Skyrim to die. We're waiting for the next Elder Scrolls.
I do.
We've been waiting.
I do think it
no
is
one
kind
wants
of
Skyrim
funny.
to live any longer. Not
I think
even
it's
the
kind of funny how GTA and Skyrim are examples of like just move on, and then TF2 not only is it not moving on, but the community behind it refuses to let it move on. Like,
Hey Adrian, can you tell me
die.
about that new snake that was added? That's like the most high poly
Oh,
thing
yeah.
in TF2.
well, okay, that was a little while ago.
Because I heard about that, and that's the funniest shit I have ever heard.
So TF2, because Valve is desperately trying to kill it, has been notorious for, I think it's been about 1,500 days since they've had a significant gameplay update. But in the interim, the janitor that is sneaking into Valve headquarters and doing updates for the fans has updated a map to include a couple of bug fixes, but also in the patch notes it said quote-unquote wildlife preservation measures and didn't explain further, and then people found out that meant that they added little like low poly tube snake guys to
Low
a map
poly?
called a map called Snake Water. So they added some little low poly tube snakes to a part of the map where you can't access it as a player in the water.
But
hence
is
now
it
it's
really
actually snake
accurate to
water.
call them low poly, Adrian?
They're pretty low poly. Have you actually seen what they look like?
No, Adrian, I'm gonna pause real quick. Do you actually know what the try count is on those snakes?
I don't, but they don't look
I gotta look it up for you real quick.
sophisticated.
No, you don't understand.
This is gonna be crazy.
TF2
I'm excited.
snake poly count. Let's see if I can find.
Two.
Let me see if I can find the poly count. The water snake that was added to TF2 is the most graphically intense character in all of TF2. The runner up in terms of tries is the scout. Here is there you go. Adrian just posted it.
Oh my god.
Oh my god.
8,576 tries on a tiny little tube snake, which I believe just has like a smiley face on
It
it.
doesn't have a face.
Oh
It has
my
2 eyes, and
lord.
that's it.
But yeah,
Poor
it's not low
Nicholas
poly. That's an
Alvarez.
incredibly high poly count.
Well, it doesn't look high poly, is the thing.
Correct, but that's why it's hilarious and I love him.
In any
Jesus.
case,
So good.
this tiny little snake has revived, like, it was like the fucking electric pads for, like, the dying TF2
But it was
fan
the
base because
defibrillator.
it was a defibrillator. The TF2 fan base is so excited about this shit for, like, a solid month, or, like, solid half month to month.
Snake.
Zoe Jack. Alright, I gotta get going. Goodbye, everyone.
Bye,
ya.
Grant.
Boy.
See you tomorrow.
But yeah, no, like, honest to God, Valve has taken baby steps and might as well just commit to handing TF2 over to the fans, not gonna lie.
They should wouldn't that be awesome if they announced like tomorrow that TF2 was being open source?
They did something that was vaguely a step in the direction. They basically paid a fee to, I think it was the Havoc engine or something, to make it so that TF2 modders wouldn't have to pay for a certain like physics engine to make mods for their game, which was a very nice gesture. That said, I don't know if I don't think anyone here follows the minutia of TF2 like I do here, but
Certainly not.
recently, every TF2 is tradition to have a Smissmas update, which is the in-universe name for Christmas. It's called Smissmas. And over the last like 4 or 5 years, normally before that there were like actual like events and cool maps. Now it's just like we'll pick like 4 community-made maps because we don't have the time to make our own maps because they're doing CS:GO. So we'll pick 4 community-made maps and like 20 community-made hats because again we can't make hats ourselves. We have to have the community do that for us. For the last 5 years, literally, they have not taken any self-made content and almost exclusively used fan-made content that was on the workshop and just brought that in. Also, to go back to our earlier point, modability and ease at which the community can make stuff for TF2 is part of why it's lived so long as well. But all this is to say, personally, for some reason, the people deciding what makes it as an official hat this year chose like normally there's some variation where there's like, oh, there's a hat where like there's like a zombie or there's like you're like a bird head or something. 14 of the hats are all just little like elf helper hats and they're all the same, which sucks. And so whoever's there is really trying to kill the game by just choosing clone items, I guess. There's 2 janitors that work at Valve that do TF2, and one of them hates TF2, and the other one loves TF2, basically.
I was about to make the same janitor joke.
One of them tells lies, the other tells the truths.
I love the 2 TF2 janitors.
That's them in that picture right there. That's the scout and the soldier.
The good one works in the weekends when everyone's happy, and then the other one works in the weekdays who's grumpy all the time.
Shorty, how is that closing the door?
Stop, you're not muted.
Sorry. I thought I was muted. What the heck? I was so mad. I was like, what? I asked her to close the door, and she's like, she doesn't even close the door. She taps it so it like slightly shifts, and I'm like, that is insulting to every person who's asked someone to close a door. I can't believe it.
Wow, a lot of bold statements being made on stream tonight.
Yikes.
I don't know. Like Saba, you don't really yell all that much, so when it happens, it throws me out of the
call-
loop.
You call that
walking
shutting
away,
the door? Oh man. Oh, could you imagine if Saba's whole not swearing thing was just a facade for our stream? Like just to make sure that she's never recorded, and she thought she was muted, and she goes, "What the fuck?"
Yikes.
Oh,
But except you and we've met in person, so it's
We
not
have?
like 100%.
yeah, and Zach has been
Yikes.
telling us, like me and Adrian, all the time,
That I'm constantly swearing?
You swear like a sailor.
Wow. This
I
is
do.
new.
Heard it,
She has the
therefore
fucking
it-
potty
This is
mouth.
interesting. This is a new persona that I have never heard of.
I just hope you guys appreciate the snake
Wormy.
appreciation.
Dude, I love
Yes.
Hey, little fella.
this. Hey, little fella.
Yeah, Valve and Snake Warranty Community.
I think it takes real skill to make a high poly model look low poly.
Does it? Because I could just make a low poly model and then just increase the number of faces without actually adding any edges.
No, you're able to do that, but it's ruined.
I know
Yikes,
you're
he
doing
just
that as a
disappeared
joke.
into the
I
ether.
know you're doing that as a joke, Lawrence, but it does fucking chew up your audio so no one can hear you.
Can I tell you something that may or may not change or affect your opinion of the TF2 snake water snakes?
No,
Why?
because it's something controversial.
So they're in the water, right?
All right.
They don't animate. They just sit there.
That's even better.
Oh,
That's ex-
there's no reason for them to have all those tries.
Correct. That's why I love them.
So they don't animate. They just sit there. They don't need to have those tries.
Oh, that's a bit of a shame, though.
Adrian, I need to give you an example of like the type of designer that I hope to be one day. Like if I'm like a creative director, I would recreate all of TF2, the entire game. I would put it all on like a modern engine, make sure everything worked exactly the same, just a little bit more efficiently. And then I would add a single snake water snake that doubled the amount of tries on the entire map because he deserves it.
What are you, Yandere Dev?
Yeah. No, I know how to do a loop statement.
Whoa!
Have you guys seen that one Yandere Dev post about the fucking toothbrush?
Excuse
I
me?
only hear about that stuff every once in a
I
while.
want to
don't know
say
exactly.
that because Yandere Dev isn't actually a game producer, designer, or anything, he had to add a toothbrush into like a bathroom at one point, right? But the thing is, because he's a lazy piece of shit, he just stole the toothbrush from like a pre-made Unity set. However,
Oh.
this toothbrush was a demo toothbrush, and it had somewhere upwards of, I want to say, more than 10,000 tries. And it
My
was so because of the bristles. So it was so absurdly high poly that it lagged out the game for an entire several patches before he
my
fixed it and
goodness.
replaced it with a lower poly toothbrush.
Why did it take several patches for him to realize? Oh, it's a toothbrush.
It's Yandere Dev.
So
Yandere Dev.
the story behind Yandere Dev, the guy, is that he was a guy who had an idea for a game because he liked Yandere's and he knew other people did too. So he had the idea for the game and he was like, I could probably make this. Other people have learned how to make a game while developing it, right? But then he didn't have any of the patience or wherewithal to actually learn how to do anything. So essentially, like, I can't kid you enough, Lawrence, when I say that the entirety of, I think, the like 5 or 6 year development cycle of Yandere, of the Yandere simulator like development, all code in the entire game went into the update function, which occurs every single frame update of the game. And the game ran default at 30 frames per second, which means every single... Oh, and by the way, he didn't know how to do, like, actual sub-functions, so every single, like, logic check in the game was a nested if statement. So 30 times per second, over 20,000 lines of if statements were checked to see whether or not characters should be walking to a new location or whether or not they should be talking to each other, so on and so forth.
Sounds like my kind of game.
When this came out and it was revealed that this is what the coding was like in Yandere Simulator. An actual guy who actually knew what he was doing was able to recreate the 5 to 6 years of development that had gone on. He was able to recreate that in a single afternoon.
Oh, wow.
That's gotta hurt.
I just wanted to reference.
To be fair, Yandere Dev is also an asshole, so.
I just wanted to reference that because I didn't know the snake was that high poly. I didn't look into it. Besides, they had the snake.
Well, I'm glad you know now, because it's funny.
I will say the fact that this probably reminded me of the fucking Yandere toothbrush, which is why I wanted to bring that up.
I love the Yandere toothbrush. To be fair as well, by the way, every single asset in that game was stolen from the Unity asset store. So, and by I say stolen, I mean that they were free, but he was asset flipping. So,
Sounds like a swell guy. I see a bright future ahead of him.
because it's not even necessarily that he did poorly in development. That's not worthy of like. That's not even worthy of like ridicule. It's the fact that like whenever someone tried to like offer helpful criticism, admittedly, he would be like, "You don't know what it fucking takes to make a video game, man. So shut your fucking stupid N-word mouth."
Oh,
like,
oh boy.
and it was like, "Oh, you're that kind of person." Okay, okay.
I mean, he made a game about yanderes and like taking panty shots and whatever. So
I guess so.
So the
I
heaviest
remember
model
the
yandere sim is a
the
toothbrush.
biggest update to that game, like the most successful and biggest update to that game was when he added a subquest that allowed you to expand every single schoolgirl's breasts.
Yeah.
That was
I'm
the
no
that was
longer
the big
surprised
thing
by
with
this
that update, and the
fellow's,
game sold 1,000 copies in a single evening.
1,000 copies. Oh man, there's a
I
couple
will
of
say.
benefits here.
So I found the post. The heaviest model in Yandere Sim is a toothbrush with a massive 5,592 faces. This model was originally designed for realism in CGI commercials, but YD decided to put it in the game as a small decoration.
Wow.
And so in
Incredible.
theory, that would be about 10,000 tries because each face is made of 2 tries most of the time.
Yeah, so...
yeah. Oh man, that's awesome. I love that.
That's incredible.
So that's what I was just thinking. Like, well, I mean, if you put a snake water snake in every single FTF2, it wouldn't be as bad as Yandere Dev putting the toothbrush in there.
Which one of you sent that meme of like someone? I'm trying to see if I can find it in Beams before I can explain it, but I can't find it. But it's like someone just turns up the number of faces.
Oh, that was
in
that
the
was
model,
that was Saba, where the guy's 3D modeling, and then he goes, huh? He moves up the slider, and his fucking laptop detonates from the other room.
Oh, I saw that. That was really funny.
I had seen that earlier in the day, and I didn't think I had seen that earlier in the day, and I didn't think to like
so
post it
good.
into the meme channel. But god damn it, Saba, when you reposted that, I was immediately laughing my ass off. It's like
It's so funny, and
It's like even with that like perfect understanding of it, you know, it still somehow like gets you.
when I was one of the first projects we had to do when I was in Mr. Campbell's first class, which Grant's not here unfortunately, so he can't talk nice about Mr. Campbell, but he's a great guy and a great teacher. But Mr. Campbell misunderstood because he gave us like a little sheet for us to like fill out a lot of information on, and it was information about like how familiar are you with this or this or this or this, and it was out of 5 stars. How would you rate yourself in each of these categories? And I gave myself about like a 2 or maybe a 3 star in each category, whereas most everybody else in the class give themselves a 1. So by comparison, he thought that meant I was like a consummate professional and that I should be able to like help kids learn. It was like, nah, I had just done a few tutorials. I don't know how to do any fucking 3D modeling. Are you kidding? So, long story short, I got one of the least experienced groups in the entire class because he had assumed that I would be able to like pull up the Slack Hello? Are you okay,
Ooh.
sir? Boy.
He was part of the inexperienced group.
And so, you know, we luckily we ended up having a really fun time because even though they were inexperienced, they were nice people, so it was fun to work with them. But one of my favorite bugs, quote unquote, that we had to figure out during development was that we were doing like a racing game where you played as a guy riding on a motorcycle, where the police in the nearby town could disguise themselves as any random object in the environment. So you'd be racing through the level, and suddenly, like, a park bench would sprout sirens and start chasing after you.
I know what game you're talking about.
It was like a really fun idea, and I really enjoyed it. But and I really enjoyed the concept. But one of the things that we wanted to add in was a statue, because we were like, yo, wouldn't it be funny if the statue could, like, run after you? Right, we could just get somebody to do, like, an animation for it. And so we had one of the guys make a low poly statue, and we're like, okay. And I go to import it to the Unity project, and it vanishes. It just disappears. And I was like, okay, that's really weird. I've never encountered this issue before. And so I brought in another one, and it vanished again. Okay, so I Control-Z to get rid of both. And I want to say for the next, like, hour or so, I was troubleshooting with Mr. Campbell. I was troubleshooting with other people from other groups trying to figure out what the problem was. And eventually, after an hour, we discovered that the 3D modeler didn't size the 3D model properly. And so instead of making it in the 10 to 1,000 points scale, like size scale, he was doing it in the 10 to 1 million point scale.
Okay.
So it turns out that every time I was dragging it into the environment, it was so enormous, it wouldn't even show up on the screen unless you were scrolling backwards for like a solid 3 minutes. It was enormous. And it was so funny. I loved it so much.
That sounds pretty funny.
I think I've been in a few situations like that where a model's so big you don't even realize.
You don't really think about it, right? Because
Yeah.
when you're 3D modeling, it's just like in a featureless void. You don't really think about how its size will translate. But
there's no size reference, so you never know.
That's why Mr. Campbell didn't teach us this, but one of the other teachers later taught us this, where it was like, that's why one of the first things that you should do if you want to help newer people is you should make an item that you know is going to be in the game, make sure it's properly sized, and then re-import it into like Maya or whatever, and then they can use that as a size reference. So that way they can't make a mistake.
That's what I was thinking you
pretty
should
smart.
do, and that would be intuitive in my imagination.
Well, because in theory, when you eventually get to a professional standard, you don't need to do that anymore because the professional would already have their project in the proper size. But yeah, it turned out that was like a really good trick, and we did that like once or twice after that. It was cool.
It's pretty neato.
Pretty neato.
Neato.
That's what I would sound like if I liked. Never mind. I don't know, man. I don't. No, we don't have to go back. I've just tried to do a funny. Risk of Rain is a lot of fun, and I'm shocked that we're 40 minutes from the end of stream, because I was worried that today's stream would be like too long. Like we would run out of things to talk about. And it turns out Saba's instincts were fucking right on the money when it came to, yeah, we should bring up the game of the year again. Because Saba said that, and I was like, I don't know, man, maybe.
Did you talk about that on that one stream that I passed out early on?
Is it a stream?
Wait, no, that the game of the year.
No, you weren't here for that.
I was like,
no.
when did you talk about the game of the year?
They were watching it live yesterday.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I see.
Yeah.
I
And
can't
then,
find the fucking. Oh, never mind. Damn it.
When I heard It Takes Two won, and then I saw on Discord started lighting up. I'm like, oh boy.
I was laughing so fucking hard. It was so good. Please, 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 just give me the health. Just give me the health. Thank you. No, 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 no. The magma worm lights you on fire when it touches you, so that's part of the problem here. Oh, I'm dead!
Oh, damn.
God damn it, man. Normal is so hard. All right. Well, with that being said, this is probably going to be the last attempt. So, Lawrence, you can pick any character we haven't played already.
All right. Based off silhouette alone, I am gonna go with. Who's that guy on the left of Rex?
Oh, the samurai? The
Yeah.
mercenary?
Ooh, yeah, there you go.
Samurai.
Okay. I can probably make this guy work.
I was just thinking like, oh, this dude looks like singed a little bit, so I'm gonna choose him.
It's been a while since I played mercenary, but I can get into some ninja action.
All right.
Oh, someone
I-
messaged me. I don't know who did though. Was it Saba? Is Saba telling me to shut up
No.
in the back channel? Saba usually does that. She'll be like, Zach, you're talking nonsense.
I mean, that's typical, but that I don't bring it out because it happens so often.
All right, I gotta get out of here. Please, I need any item that'll heal me.
One last funny thing about the Game Awards is when Genshin Impact won Best Mobile Game, me and my buddies were we sent a meme to each other like Genshin Impact wins Best Mobile Game, but we play on PC/PS4,
Exactly.
and it's the Stonks meme.
It's
Nobody
Stonks.
like, yes.
I do recall telling Zach this too. I'm like, it's funny because I don't actually even play it on like mobile.
I was
Like,
gonna
what it's
say,
worth.
everyone I know plays it not on mobile.
Ooh.
I thought it was like that's pretty dang silly, but I'm not gonna argue with that.
Because it's true. There's nothing much else to say. It's true.
The only reason it won that is because Skyrim didn't get re-released on phones this year.
You're
It's
right.
true.
You know what? You're totally right. Why didn't the anniversary edition of Skyrim win? Man.
Could you imagine if Skyrim won any category at the Game Awards in 2021?
That would be so funny.
Riots. There would be riots.
There would be a riot from the Skyrim fans.
Todd has always wanted blood in his hands, and he'd finally get it, but it'd be his. And I don't think he's expecting that.
I guess I wanted to bring this up slightly just because you mentioned Riot and we were just talking about mobile games. I recently watched a video. It's from a YouTuber that I haven't watched in a really long time since I don't really play League anymore. I just play the card game. But the guy put out a video being like, yo, why the fuck is League of Legends Wild Rift so much better than regular League of Legends? And it was like a 20-minute video of him doing light commentary over footage where, sure, Wild Rift doesn't have like the full roster of characters just quite yet, which, you know, could be detrimental. But every single character has like a full new suite of animations. They all have animations in like Champion Select and stuff like that.
Ooh.
A bunch of the skins that they add that are exclusive to Wild Rift come with like twice as many animations and visual effects, despite the fact that they cost the exact same as what they would as their counterparts in like League proper. Like the main example that pissed me off and made me want to bring this up is that Lawrence, you watched Arcane, right? So you know
No, I
how
didn't
Vi
watch
looks in
Arcane.
Arcane?
Yeah.
That's a skin in League of Legends because that's not what she normally looks like.
Right,
and it's
because you showed me the original design. I was like, oh,
right.
It's different.
And that skin, the Arcane design is awesome. It's an excellent design. But her recall is just her like standing there, like pounding her fist together for a second, and then she recalls back to base, right? And it's like, okay, that's like pretty whatever. In Wild Rift, she fucking summons out the punching bag machine from the show.
Oh hell yeah!
Yeah,
dude. I
she
love
does that,
punching
and
bag
she does
machine.
like a round, and she does like a round with it, and it has like all these sound effects, and then you see her like get the high score, and it's like, dude, that's like super cool. Why the fuck?
Oh, yeah.
Why the? And it's the same, and it costs exactly the same. You know, and it was just super weird. And then there's other stuff where like Wild Rift. It's not confirmed just quite yet, but Wild Rift is rumored to be coming to consoles sooner rather than later. Because it turns out that if you just run the game through like a PC emulator and then hook your controller into it, it already comes with a bunch of like PlayStation and Xbox button prompts
Ooh.
in the game.
All right.
And guess what? It works like a fucking dream. You know the worst part about League being like CSing and like actually having to aim your abilities and stuff? You don't have to
Oh,
do
sure.
that on console. It just happens.
Yeah.
And it's like,
Yeah.
oh, please. That'd be so nice.
You don't need to make skill shots anymore with the Moomoo's bandages.
Well,
or
they do.
whatever?
Well, they do still have skill shots, but I mean more rather the ones where you actually have to like click on the target to shoot them or whatever. But still, long story
Consoles,
short,
let's
it was
go.
a 20-minute long video that has thoroughly convinced me that Wild Rift is a superior version of League than the main game.
Those
and it-
Moomoo's
Is it
still have a
the
spell
exact
slot.
same genre of?
No, it's the
What do you call that
same
genre
game.
again?
It is League of Legends.
same
It's the
game.
same thing with the 3
It's just on
lanes.
mobile.
League of Legends 2, let's go.
It would be pretty accurate to call it League of Legends 2, yes.
Ooh.
Huh. Wow, I haven't played League in over a decade now. I just checked my old main, and they have not touched his abilities.
Who's your old main?
The Moomoo.
Well, I mean, he got an update since then.
Moo.
Yeah, but he has all the same abilities.
No, he has different abilities.
They all have the same names and look like the exact same.
Maybe they functionally do different things.
Functionally very different. He has the move where he rolls up a big snowball now.
A Moomoo? The
Yeah.
mummy?
Oh, sorry, I'm thinking of Nunu. My bad.
Yeah, I
there
was
you go.
gonna say.
Technically, Amumu does have a couple new things. Like he has Magic Curse on his passive now instead of his previous passive, which I think just lowered magic resistance. But his ultimate's still the same. His Bandage Toss is still the same. His Tantrum's slightly different because its cooldown gets lowered whenever he takes auto attack damage.
Okay. He still break dances when he does it.
He does. Especially if you're using Emumu.
Man, I haven't played League of Legends in 22 years.
Funny.
Have they not added any skins since I last played?
To Amumu?
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of the last one. I
Oh,
thought
the
he...
Vancouver Moomoo looks new.
Vancouver?
Yes.
No,
Vancouver looks
Vancouver
new.
Amumu would have been... They probably just released a new splash art for it, because that sounds like one of the old Winter Olympic skins that they used to do. And they haven't done a
that
new one of
makes
those in a
sense.
really long time. I just got an achievement by accident?
Good job.
I don't know what the
Good
achievement
job.
was for.
It's called Get Good with Mercenary. Are you called Mercenary?
This is Mercenary,
What is it again?
yes.
Alright.
It's also appropriate to just call him Samurai if you'd like. Oh my god, I'm gonna
that's
die.
that's what I was like, is it Mercenary or Samurai? Which is
Please, I need help.
Well, if you die at all, I think there was like one more guy that I think I remember choosing last time too. It's like a creature with like his mouth open. It's green.
And it's green?
No, his open mouth is green, but his
Oh,
body's
you're talking
purple.
about Acrid. That was my
Isn't that-
main.
is that
Yeah.
yeah.
That seemed like the. It's like if we die, we should just.
I mean, I could just jump off the cliff right now, but I don't want to do that to Lawrence. And to
Yeah,
be
I was about
fair,
to say-
Mercenary is pretty
I'm
cool.
gonna cry.
Dude, look at me go.
I will say that I did play one character for a day before I played Amumu, and that was Mordekaiser, and he looks like he has different abilities.
Mordekaiser has gone through 2 entire champion reworks, yes.
Oh, well.
His initial champion rework was it was fun in theory because they essentially reworked his entire kit to revolve around the concept that he could he could like essentially he could like target an enemy champion or an epic monster, such as Dragon, for example. And he could, if he killed them within a certain amount of time, he could resummon them as a ghost, and then he could control the ghost as if it was like a pet. And it was a really cool idea, like thematically. But the problem was that it was fucking busted in gameplay because you could do exactly what I just described, which was Ghost Dragon, and then you could just sick the dragon on like a turret. And the thing was that Dragon inherently had a thing where, at the time at least, he would reduce incoming damage if it exceeded a certain percentage of his health, which just so happened to also include turrets. So normally the turrets are supposed to be able to kill anything in 10 shots, unless they're a champion. Like, that's what they're supposed to do. But at the time, if you ghosted Dragon, the dragon would just sit there and it would take over like 50 shots to kill it. So the dragon would just plow all the way through all 3 turrets into the enemy base. And it's like, yeah, this is kind of busted to do at level 6.
Wow.
And then his new ability is cool because he goes, you can't see me, I don't have a camera. But he essentially just points with his big fuck you mace and he goes, you! And then he summons them to the ghost realm and fucking whacks them in the face until they die.
He goes, you! And then you hear steel drums and Soldier Boy starts rapping.
Essentially, yes, actually.
Oh, Soldier Boy, tell him.
But yeah, Mordekaiser is a lot of fun now. Last time I played seriously, Mordekaiser was one of the champions that I really enjoyed because he has a really nice and respectable 1-2 on his I think it's EQ, because his E allows you to pull enemies towards you, and then his Q is a setup where he like lifts up his mace before slamming it into the ground. And if you time them perfectly together, it's inescapable and you just deal a fuck ton of damage. It's awesome.
Did he have a horse originally at some point, or am I just thinking of art that he was in?
You're probably thinking of art that he was in because he never had a horse.
Oh.
I think there was a skin. They might have renamed it. I think it was called like Conqueror Mordekaiser, where he was on the back, or Hussar, maybe? No, I'm thinking of Shinzao. Never mind.
I'm guessing neither Mordekaiser nor Mumu made it into Arcane.
Of course not. No. Our Arcane is largely
How
like.
could they? My old mains, they didn't acknowledge 2 of their 140 fucking champions? How dare they?
Our Arcane is a
So many.
Piltover Zon story. So like essentially all of the characters were Piltover Zon characters.
So
I
how
don't
many
think they had a single non-Piltover Zon character in that show.
Well, I was gonna ask, how many characters did that exclude from the League of Legends champion canon? How many did they get fucking snuffed by Arcane?
90%.
About to say 90%. It's one of those things actually where if you separate them, because they pretty much established at this point what the main like regions in Runeterra are, where most characters fit, and if you sort them out into those categories, Piltover and Zon should really technically count as 2 different regions, but because they physically occupy the same space, they don't. Because Piltover and Zon as a single region has twice as many champions as any other individual region.
Dang.
It turns out designing stuff for sci-fi is fun and easy. Sci-fi steampunk magic is fun.
Hex tech. I can't believe they
And
didn't.
then also
I can't
Chemtech.
believe they didn't expand upon sad midget mummy character.
They did
Their
in the
TV
extended
show.
lore recently.
Really?
Yeah, he's now officially a Yordle, and he's still sad.
I was gonna ask, like, when I played more than a decade ago, I don't think he was technically considered a Yordle.
No, he was just considered to be like a child, but I think they had to like simplify some stuff recently, where they were just like, you know what, fuck it, just make him a Yordle.
Does that mean that there was Yordle Egypt?
It's Shurima first off, and kinda.
It's like how in Cars, there's the Cars
There's
Sistine
Cars
Chapel, and
Pope.
therefore Cars Pope and Cars Jesus,
I love Cars
And,
Jesus
and therefore Cars Judas.
as well. Yes, unless the story is slightly different. Like I had a conversation with one of my friends from Massachusetts the other day, where I brought up once again the canonical fact, or the fact that Jesus exists canonically in the JoJo's Bizarre Adventure universe. And he was like, man, I hate it whenever you bring this up. And I was like, yeah, and you also hate it when I remind you that he's Mormon. That's
Really?
great. Yeah, the Jesus in JoJo's Bizarre Adventure is the Mormon Jesus, not the Christian Jesus.
Incredible.
Awesome. Funny.
Question, Zach.
Yes, I am him.
When more part 6? Release them now.
I don't know why you're asking me.
You are the JoJo man.
I am the JoJo man, and I'm here to say that if it doesn't happen next month, you're gonna have to wait the 12 weeks.
Ah.
Yeah, because the rumor has it that it might come out next month on the 3rd, but if it doesn't, then fuck. Because it still hasn't come out in Japan.
It hasn't?
Well,
I thought Japan
kinda.
usually gets it first,
Rather,
and then-
rather it hasn't released through normal channels in Japan. It's on Netflix.
Ah, okay.
How's the animation of Jolene Cujo?
It's
so
really
far?
weird that you asked this question because I don't know, Lawrence could probably agree. I thought that the show looks beautiful, like astonishingly gorgeous, except for some of the 3D stuff that they do, but you know, whatever.
I get what you mean, but I also get why they chose to do 3D on some parts.
Well, I'm talking I'm specifically referring to Anti-Gravity Man.
Fair.
You know,
that
like
one I
that
would
looked
say
like
is like,
that looked like
what?
dog shit. The intro being
That one I'll agree, especially since Jolene and weather forecast are still in 2D.
yeah,
So
like
it's
why?
yeah,
like,
they could clearly still do it on 2D. Why is this one?
why
why
is
is the
he
villain here
3D?
3D?
And the
Yeah.
only thing I can think of is because they want, like, straight up, I think it's because they wanted to properly simulate his shoes. Because he doesn't wear his shoes.
I
They're
guess
just
so. Yeah,
they're
There's
just
kinda
tied to
dangling
his
there.
ankles via the shoelaces. So I
This'll
think
be
they
a
wanted
pain
to
in the ass
properly
to
animate
animate.
them jiggling around and stuff.
Well, thanks
Sure,
for
but you
dropping that
also
he
don't-
wears his shoes by tying his feet to his shoelaces on me without any warning or context.
Listen,
Let's forget how weird it can be. To
well, I mean that's
That's
also one of the most
shit.
infuriating character designs to me because not only does he not wear his shoes properly, he also he wears a mask where the only like special accoutrements on his mask are 2 little strips that go directly over his pupils so he can't see.
Yeah, I remember
That
you
doesn't bug
talking-
me as much as the fucking shoes. The idea that someone just... Like, is he at least stepping on his shoes, or are they, like, on top of his feet?
No,
They
his
are-
fingers and toes are incredibly calloused, so he uses them like suction pads.
The shoes?
No,
Or
on
the calluses?
his calluses on his toes and fingers.
Right, so he uses those as suction pads.
Yeah, not his shoes.
So where are his shoes? Are they on top of his feet or under his feet?
No, they
Time to pull
are
out a
the
picture.
shoelaces. The shoelaces are legitimately tied to his ankles with his shoes dangling off of them.
Okay, so they trail behind him.
Essentially, yes.
Okay.
what's the?
Why does he have shoes then?
To make it weird, man.
Forgot that what's his face will just do shit. Just be
Araki
like,
will just do shit to make you upset. Yeah.
to make me specifically upset here in California.
That was also the fight where Jolene pisses herself because of his zero gravity.
Well, apparently both of them pissed themselves.
That's true, but Weather Report turned his piss into a cloud first.
Yeah, you can see.
Yeah, there you go. You can
Jolene
see his
the one
feet.
Is Jolene the one whose power is to turn something into like string, or her stand into string?
Well, so her stand is that she can turn herself into string.
Right. Okay.
Yeah. Which, to be fair, can be used in a lot of really creative ways. I'm still impressed by that.
That's true.
Wait, does the
'cause-
guy does the back of the guy's shirt say "gay jail"?
Well, so it's GST prison because the name of the prison is Green Dolphin Street Prison.
It looks like it says gay plus jail.
I mean, you're also not super wrong.
You're too far off from the truth there, bud.
You know, now that I see this guy's physical design, it still doesn't clarify why the fuck he had shoes in the first place.
Well, so okay, to be fair, the main reason why he has shoes is that when he's not using his anti-gravity powers, he has very sensitive soles of his feet, which is why he wears shoes. He does say that at one point. Which, by the way, Lawrence, I was watching other people talk about Part 6, and there were a few people who are huge JoJo fans that really didn't like Part 6 so far, like the anime. And I was curious because I wanted to hear their logic behind that. And I didn't really notice, or not that I didn't notice it. I guess I just didn't put 2 and 2 together. Normally, your average JoJo episode covers 2 to 3 chapters per episode, right?
Yeah, sure.
Every episode of Part 6 is covering 6 to 8.
Really?
Literally more than double, yes. That's why I was so confused when we were already at the part where we met Foo Fighters. That's why I was so confused, because there's a lot of stuff that happens in between. Like a lot of characters like just kind of chit-chatting, which, to be fair, slows the show down by a lot. But you also lose a lot of like the character stuff that happens, you know?
What kind of? Because I don't quite remember, especially if I'm comparing between.
So the
show and
caliber
manga.
of stuff that you're technically missing out on in the anime is stuff where, like, you remember where Jolene first gets to the prison and a person walks by and they're just swinging dong, and she's like, "What the fuck? Isn't this a woman's prison?" And the doctor who was inspecting her body a moment ago goes, "Oh, she's on medication, so she counts." Like, that's the caliber of scene that we're missing out on. So, not necessary, but it's just, like, yeah, the show is definitely going a lot faster than you would normally expect, I guess.
Yeah,
You know how
I guess
I
I'm
mentioned-
seeing that as like that's not entirely a bad thing.
It's not entirely a bad thing, but it does make me worried about Part 7, which I know you still haven't read because you don't love me. But Part 7, if you know how Part 3 was 2 seasons?
Yes, it was pretty long.
It was pretty long, but you know, it never felt like it was slow per se. If they
True.
were to do Part 7 at the same pace, legit Part 7 would be 5 seasons long.
You know how I mentioned that once I eat my food, I'll have like 10 minutes before I have a food coma? I'm having a food coma, so I'll dip. I'll see you guys later.
Okay, goodbye.
Goodbye.
Bye.
It'll,
Food coma plus JoJo.
I guess it will just be.
But you're forgetting, Zach. Part 7, all of it is going to be animated in 12 episodes.
Well, that was the thing, was that I really like I and a lot of other people really hope that they don't try to condense it into like 36 episodes. Because if they do,
Yeah.
that's a lot of stuff that you're gonna have to cut, and I don't want that.
Yeah. What's the longest JoJo animated part that we have? Is it just still part 3?
Animated part, it's technically
Yeah.
part 3 because it's 2 different seasons.
Right. Huh. Oh, they could definitely go longer with part 7, I say, without having read the stuff yet.
You should read it while you wait for part 6 to continue airing. If you say I don't have
dissonant.
time, I'm gonna kill you because you can read it while playing Genshin. I know you can.
Read anything while playing another game.
Yeah.
like JoJo and Genshin aside, read and play at the same time.
Yeah. I don't understand the problem.
I think my brain's gonna explode if that happens.
Explode.
Explode.
I love explode. You know what? Saba roasted me today, so I think she deserves the honor of picking a topic any topic she wants to talk about.
I don't. No, I had too much. No, I already brought up the biggest topic here, which was.
Yeah, but now you're allowed to do it again.
I'm allowed. I don't know.
Osaba.
Yeah.
Sorry, I forgot the question I was gonna ask. Keep
I
going.
thought you were gonna say I forgot your name.
Osaba. I forgot
Yeah.
the name. Can you share it
Ow.
with the class?
Think about what you said 2 seconds ago.
Think,
There's a
will
lot
share it
of
with the class?
You stop computing. Memory doesn't.
I think
memory
I
recall
calculate
doesn't
2
happen.
seconds, which is a little too far for me.
Oh, yeah.
I don't even know what I had for lunch. Oh right, pasta. No, I know, but I remember.
Okay, so it seems like you're.
I had
memories
I
again.
had chicken Kiev today, and then I was thinking about it, and I was like, man, I should have something a little bit more than just chicken Kiev. So I made some stovetop Knorr's pasta. It was Alfredo noodles, and I think I mentioned this before, but it's one of the most nostalgic meals that I. What the fuck? Look at this thing. Oh, it's like ice. It's supposed to look like that. Okay.
Yeah. It's shining really funnily.
It looked weird for a second, but I guess it makes
Yeah.
sense. But the chicken Kiev plus Alfredo noodles stovetop is one of the most nostalgic meals for me because all of the garlic butter from the chicken Kiev gets all in the pasta, and it's like, oh.
Ooh, nice.
And that was the go-to meal that mom would make me when I was in middle school and high school when she decided that she didn't want to cook anymore.
Something a little ironic about that. I don't want to cook anymore, therefore I will cook you this meal.
Well, she used to do like actual cooking
Ah.
instead of like, let me pull out this TV.
You know what? Fair.
So Lawrence, how excited are you for tomorrow's stream? The stream that you don't know what we're playing.
Yeah, you told me to get here on the dot.
You need to be here on the
And
dot
I got-
because you're definitely gonna want as much time to play it as possible. Because I'm hoping that you
Wait,
guys
I'm
will
playing
have
it?
enough time. Yeah. Oh yeah, you're playing, by the way.
Yeah.
We're getting in on we're getting in on incorporating Parsec into our daily stream content. So you're gonna be playing, and it's gonna be you and Grant playing in tandem.
Oh.
Yeah.
If it's the game that I'm thinking of. I thought you said we were gonna do that for New Year's.
Yeah, and then I decided to not because I didn't know if you guys were gonna be here for New Year's.
Holy fair. Hold on, let me check what day New Year's is.
It's
That's a
it's
Saturday.
December 31st.
Oh, Friday, Saturday. So, definitely questionable is all I'll say.
Oh, I forgot this character has a default double jump.
Nice.
My bad.
He
That would have helped a lot
died.
this game so far, but that's okay.
He do be a samurai.
Excuse you, he's a
or
mercenary.
ninja. Mercenary, sorry.
Fuck, that was really bad. Where are you, you bitch? Come on.
I like that name, Imp Overlord. There's something real funny about that.
Well, because there's an enemy type in the game called imps, and
Yeah.
he summons them during his fight.
I guess that's why I find it really silly. Because I don't know, when I think of Imp, I think of small little thing. Now here be the overlord of the small thing.
Yeah. Squid Polyp is not great, but that's okay. I can't wait for the next update for this. They're adding 2 new characters, I think.
Oh my!
Yeah,
I
I'm really
didn't
excited
think they
about
were still supporting this game.
What are you talking about? This game came out like last year.
It did?
or like 2 years ago at least. But yeah.
Oh, okay, that's 2 years is a little bit better.
Risk of
If,
Rain.
if it was last year, I'm like, I swear to God, we played this. or
Risk
you
of
played this,
Risk
like,
of Rain
more
1
than that.
received consistent content updates, like new levels, new characters, new stuff to be excited about for 7 years.
Oh wow. That's pretty good.
It is. Die, bitch. God.
Hey Saba.
Yeah, you remember your
Completely
question?
different question that completely different question that I was originally gonna ask you, because this is certainly not it. But you were clearly upset with this Game Awards. So the next year, what game are you hoping for?
I mean, okay, I wasn't
Highest
horribly
expected
like
game.
averse to this. Like if you were to listen to me and Zach's conversation, I was like, okay, I don't
called me a
necessarily
little
hate it.
bitch.
It's just weird. Last night,
Excuse me, the conversation that we
That's
had
what I-
here, you were insulting my man
that's because
Zach.
you came in real strong, Lawrence, with your defense. So I had to come back stronger, and because Zach kept talking over me, so I had to.
I
start
never
yelling.
talk over you.
I will say I probably
funny
came
joke,
in strong
isn't it?
just because like I was
I
coming
know,
to the
right?
stream knowing very well, I was like, they're gonna be talking about this, and I have a feeling that it's gonna only be me that even like the game.
I liked the
Oh,
The
game.
yeah.
game
Here
will
we
be
go.
fun. It's just I'll hate the
I thought the
story,
game was
essentially.
cool, and I look forward to playing it one day. It's just definitely not game of the year.
There's that.
Fools,
I mean,
all of you.
You're all fools.
I don't know, because like. I like
It's
the
okay,
game,
get
and
it-
that's not
get it
a
out.
controversial opinion.
What? That the game is good?
Yes.
Correct. That's not controversial. I think the controversial part is that it's like, oh yeah, it's okay that it won Game of the Year. When
Yes. And
Inscription
also
should have won
family.
Game of the Year.
All right.
for sure.
Well, then Inscription. Was it Inscription the one that won Best Indie?
No.
I know it was,
Best
I know
Indie's
one
not
of-
a category.
Independent. Best independent.
Is it
Best,
not a
it was
category?
Best Independent.
It's called best
Because
independent.
they don't call it
Even though
they
it
don't call
literally
it
says
indie
indie.
because they think that that's an
Oh,
informal
alright.
title.
Okay, I see where you guys are going. I thought I was going crazy. Like, is it not indie?
Who did
There's
win
no,
Best
there's
Independent?
no indie category.
Was it
I thought it was
indie?
one of. I thought it was one of Saba's two choices.
It was Kina. I'm pretty
Yeah, it was
sure.
Kina. It was
there you
it was
go.
Kina. Oh right, because they
Free
announced
Spirits.
that, and I looked at Saba spiritually, and she laughed at me.
That sounds like something
Which,
I
by the way, Saba, I did watch some footage of Kina Bridge of Spirits last night. It's fine.
Ah, good.
I don't know, man. It just must not be my speed. Like the combat
Probably
was
not.
like the combat was functional, the art style was functional. I didn't really give a shit about the story, but that's, preference, obviously.
Yeah.
I just remember seeing the trailer for Kenna.
Kina,
Yeah.
Whatever the name is. Kena.
Kenea
Kina.
Sports. It's an EA game.
It's an AE.
EA.
Well, yeah, I saw the trailer for that and I was like, man, this game do be looking pretty.
Pretty boring.
You.
Fuck. You got me again.
I love the simple you.
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 You just, man, you said that and it just reminded me of the pull the lever crunk voice. Pull the lever crunk. Oh, it's so
By the way,
good.
you didn't answer my question.
Are
Okay.
you the big gay?
Are you the triple gay Bowser?
Are you triple gay Bowser?
Man, I don't know. Like as Zach would say, I am like uncultured when it comes to like a lot of games.
Very true.
Well, you
What
don't have to be
I-
cultured.
what I-
Just what are you hoping for in the future?
In terms of like what am I looking forward to based off what they showed me in this like recent
In-
one? Or?
Well, not in this, not necessarily in this specific Game Awards, but like just the game that you're looking forward to in general for the future.
Yeah,
Oxenfree
if it's like
2.
smaller stuff, like Oxenfree 2, the next Cuphead.
Well,
There was
Cuphead
like one or
DLC.
two other ones,
DLC.
but I don't. Do you remember, Zach, what they were? I'm gonna look at the releases again that they showed us.
Because is Thor Ragnarok? Sorry, not Thor Ragnarok. God of War.
God of War Ragnarok.
God of War Ragnarok.
That's
Is that
supposed to be
coming out
coming
next
out
year?
next year, I think.
I'm already gonna make a prediction that might win.
Yeah. And I don't know.
too
I can't,
solid.
you can't necessarily judge it, but it's just
Sure,
one of those
yeah.
things where it's just like the first of the God of War soft reboot or whatever. It was cool. Like I liked it, but it definitely, but I don't know. It just reeked of generic like AAA stuff. Like, why did God of War
Really?
need a crafting system? Did it really need a crafting system?
I don't know. A lot of like games are becoming like the type where you do need to like craft and like your weapons.
Well, that's what I'm saying when I say like
Really?
that's what I mean when I say like AAA generic, because AAA generic is literally just a board of people of like analysts being like, all right, what mechanics and features are in popular games nowadays? And it's like, okay, crafting, okay, open world,
Basically, that's what it is. Crafting open world.
you know.
But also, Lawrence, for the most part, I don't think I'm following anything along. I more or less just wait to see whether or not like a game
Why
pops
you-
up.
I wait
that-
to see Zach tell me that it's a cool game.
No, not all the time. So like, but like for example, like Tales of Arise was one that like wasn't on my radar at
That's
all
true.
because the other Tales games, like we were looking at them, but like for the most part, the story was kind of like depressing, and I was like, I don't want depressing stories anymore. But like the new Tales, apparently, my sister looked into it and she was like, it's fine, and I'm like, okay, that sounds good, I'll get it. I want it. So it's whatever like falls into my radar. I don't know. Am I trying to keep track of anything? Like I can't say anything for Nintendo because I don't own a Switch yet. Like if I had a Switch, maybe my answer would be different. Maybe I'd be like, oh, the next Breath of the Wild or something. But I don't.
Oh yeah,
So-
does it not have an official name? It's just called the sequel to.
So if you go
Zelda Breath of the
and
Wild?
watch the trailer, because they had like Nintendo didn't really have a presence at the Game Awards this year, which they haven't historically, so that's for par. But they had like a trailer being like, look forward to these games in 2022, right? And straight up, when they show, it's the same footage that we've already seen of Breath of the Wild 2, and it just says in the bottom right-hand corner, the game that the sequel to Breath of the Wild that does not have a name,
Oh,
like something along those lines, and it's like, man, that's hilarious.
Because when I saw that in the list of like expected games for the next year, I saw it was just one long name of sequel to The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild. I'm like,
Well, because the
That's
thing,
pretty-
like,
that's pretty
and
funny.
I mean, I feel like it's pretty obvious at this point, but like, people are like, yeah, they're not gonna reveal the name because the name is probably going to just spoil what the entire game is about. Like, not the story, but like what you're doing. That's why.
Maybe.
That's why I think it
that's
should.
I feel like that's a weird thing. A weird thing to quote unquote spoil.
Well,
theoretically,
because
you
the
would
thing
wanna-
is, think about like what Breath of the Wild was, right? It was Breath of the Wild. It was literally called Breath of the Wild because it was the first open world Zelda game, right?
Sure, yeah.
The rumor is that the next one is going to be Breath of Darkness, because the idea is that you're going to be able to flip back and forth between Skyland, which is what we've seen in the trailer so far, and the Dark World, which we haven't seen since fucking that 3DS
Was it Link to
game.
the Past? Oh.
Well, Link to the Past, yes, but Link Between Worlds.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, was the
I
name
was
of
thinking.
the other one that they did. So, why?
Anywho, so that's my answer.
No, right.
She
I don't really
doesn't
have
know.
one now. I'm kind of useless when it comes to knowing. Like I said, if I had a Nintendo, I think things would be different, but I don't. So none of that stuff's on my radar right now.
That's totally fair.
What about you, Lawrence? Let me throw this question back at you.
Ah. How dare you?
I wasn't expecting
Okay.
this.
I believe Horizon Wild, was it called again?
Dude,
Wild
Forbidden West looks so
Forbidden West.
good.
It's
Oh, my
that's the one I'm
sister's so into
excited
that.
about.
I am
Yeah.
I am so
Sure,
sad
not
that I
me,
don't
but
play AAA stuff. Because that looks super cool. Like they showed a bunch of like I was trying to downplay it yesterday because I have like a reputation that I need to uphold. And so it's like I can't lie, I was really hyped when I saw a giant robot plesiosaur and I was like, yo,
Yes.
that's so cool.
Yes!
Giant
So-
like why would you make a robot that looks like an elephant? Why would you do that?
Why would you do this to my heart?
No, I just mean like in general, like in lore.
Oh, and more. I don't know.
like the robot moose and the robot deer and the robot like saber-tooth tigers and stuff from the previous game. It's like okay, I kind of get that because they all had like kind of like loose explanations as to why they existed from like in the narrative. But like in the trailer, they show fucking flamethrower velociraptors, and I'm like, that's so fucking cool, man.
Oh yeah, dude.
I love flamethrower velociraptor.
Yeah.
It's my favorite indie band.
Wait.
But yeah,
Boom,
that's
red item.
a
Ooh,
totally legit
Shattering
thing,
Justice. Let's
Lawrence.
go.
Like
Yeah.
I said, my sister's very much into that, so I think she'll definitely be getting it.
Yeah, there's that, and there's this one's very questionable for me, but the as I said before, the new God of War game.
Ragnarok. Yeah.
Hopefully, I can get into that because my experiences with the 2016 or 2018 version. What year did it come out?
2018.
2018. My experience with that is a little wild. Like, it's one of the greatest games that I have the strongest negative emotions towards.
Wow.
Why? Because when I was
Oh, it's
playing
because the parents
it-
aren't divorced. That's why.
Oh no!
Oh my god. Oh my god.
Well, actually, you're not too far off
What?
because I was playing that game when my previous relationship was failing.
Oh, right.
So
That's a bummer.
I have. So it's like one.
So
of the,
you have
one of
negative
the best
associations,
Games, yes, one of the best games that I have the strongest negative associations with.
That's
so
super
when
fair.
that's yeah. So when I heard the new game was coming, I was like, "Oh, this looks cool," and then memories start flooding in. Like, I really hope I can play this.
I
hurts
actually have
anything.
two examples of literally the exact same thing because you guys remember how I got COVID?
Yeah.
The reason why I got COVID was because I invited my aunt and uncle to do like a game night thing, and they had a game that they really enjoy. They still really enjoy it. It's called Quacks of Quedlinburg. It's a game where you put tokens into a bag and then you have to like draw them out of the bag. It's a fun game, but my cousin, their daughter, essentially, she was like, "Ooh, I really want to play too." And she had been feeling not that well, like she had been feeling ill, but she just thought it was like a head cold. She didn't really think that it was fucking COVID. And so she sat right next to me, and for like
Oh.
3 hours we exchanged pieces and chit-chatted and like everything that you're not supposed to do when exposed to a person with COVID. And so I have a horrible negative association with that game where like I understand that Quacks is a good game and that my family really enjoys playing it. Can anybody understand what's happening on screen?
No, a lot of bright lights.
That was really funny. But
It's so wild.
yeah. So I have yet to play a second game of Quacks because fuck that game. All I think of is the time I got COVID. And then the other one is the one game that Malia and I played together, which was Uncharted 4.
Right.
Where it's like Uncharted 4 was probably the best Uncharted game since Uncharted 2. Like it's like in my mind it's Uncharted 2, Uncharted 4, Uncharted 1, then Uncharted 3 in terms of like best to worst. But I can't go back to that game. I'll be
Yeah.
like, oh man. Sad.
True.
Sad days, man. Which I do know we're over time, so to be fair, if you guys want, you're totally free to leave. You're not obligated to stay. However, I will be finishing this one.
No matter how long it takes, Zach will be here.
I'm not doing that poorly. I think after this is the final level, and then I have to fight the final boss who has a move that can one-shot you. So, who knows? But that being said, if I do end up winning this would be my first ever victory on normal mode. On normal difficulty.
Ooh. What do you mean on normal? Didn't you beat this game
On
in
easy.
the past? That was easy?
Yes,
That
Lawrence.
was nutty on easy, dude.
That's what I'm saying. This game is ridiculous. That's not even hard.
There's more. Well,
You-
I should have expected there's more.
You want to know one of the things? Well, to be fair, I also play this game really slow. Like this game specifically has mechanics that make it more difficult as time goes on, and I play it pretty slow, so that's my bad. But there's an item that there's an item that you get for beating the game. Oh, this is the final. Never mind. Before the final level. So I have 2 levels left. But anyway, there's items that you can unlock for beating the game on each difficulty, and it's really funny because the item that you get for beating easy is twice as good as the item that you get for beating medium, which is twice as good as beating as the one that you get for beating it on hard.
Wow.
Like
That's an interesting way
straight
of
up the
doing it.
hard item, like the item that you get for doing hard, seems to just be a status symbol where it's like, dude, look at me. I was able to beat the game on hard.
I can respect that.
Did I kill him? I think I did. Also, is that a magma worm? Oh my god, it is.
Sure. It was a bright red worm.
We're out of here, man. I don't want to deal with that shit. Oh, money. Oh, that's a
Madness.
grandparent. That's a new boss that they added in.
Oh, I love my grandparents.
I'm just thinking about it now because it's like we're definitely. What the fuck are you doing, guy?
Oh, he moving.
Oh, he's throwing something
He
at you.
looks eldritch as hell. If he was looking what I think he looks like.
Dude, I have $6,000. What the hell happened? That's awesome.
You're rich.
I am rich. That's a lot of money to start off the game. I guess it's because I killed like 3 bosses within 2 seconds, I guess. My crit chance is pretty high. Can you, on my hotbar, can you find the item that, it should look like a pair of sunglasses, but they have like red?
Top left that says 5.
Oh, does it say
Times
X5?
5?
So that means I have
Yeah.
a
Is
50%.
that red?
So that means I have a 50% crit chance right now. And
Ooh.
another passive that this character has is that consecutive crits don't just deal times 2 times 2 times 2. They deal times 2 times 4 times 8 times 16.
Wow.
Wow. That would be sounding pretty good.
Oh man, this was a good pick, Lawrence. I like this character. Oh, that's
Yes.
bad. Stay away of that.
The power of anime.
Power of God and anime on my side.
Oh yeah, he does look. Whoa. Okay. Yeah, he does. He's looking pretty eldritch to this man.
So that
Kinda
big
spooky.
sun that you see him, that thing over there,
Yeah.
it has its own gravitational field. So he does that. So the
That's
grandparent does that to like suck you off the
Oh,
level.
and that's the child right underneath there. I'm
That's actually a
assuming.
parent.
Ooh.
Oh, that's the parent.
Oh.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
So
There's
child
a
is
there's a
smaller, I'm
there's a
guessing.
smaller one that looks kind of like that, which is a child. Yeah. And then I
Yo,
think they're
a
also
child.
adding in a baby eventually.
A baby.
I hope
Oh my
he
gosh,
doesn't.
I'm like, you're
Is
just
Is he doing? Oh, he's
inside.
doing the big. He's doing the big sun. This is the big sun. I need to go, 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 kill him, kill him. Yes.
I'm just
Holy
seeing your
shit.
health regen incredibly fast.
Well, I have. There should be an item on my hotbar somewhere. It should look like a collection of red seeds. It's okay. It's right next to the red vial. It says ×2. So that means that every time I
Ah.
strike an enemy, I am recovering for 8% of the damage I deal. Which you'll recall I do crazy crit damage.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, I love this game. Hey Lawrence, you should buy this game. You should buy this game and we should just vibe to this.
Yeah.
Come on. Come on. Come on. I'll show you how to unlock the characters, I promise.
He promises.
Give me the best. I actually might if the winter sale is still going on.
It
on
might be,
sale.
I don't know.
I'm gonna check. They haven't
Risk
got
of
anything out
Rain,
for like
Risk of Rain 2 might be on sale for like $11 right now because it was featured in like they had a trailer at the Game
Ooh.
Awards last night.
GTFO.
GTFO.
I may go back to like.
Beta while you're there.
Can you what?
No, it's a 1.0 now available.
1 point, so it's full version. All
So
right.
full
I believe
release.
so.
Well, there you go.
Yeah. Because I remember that being in beta for a long time. And by
I may
it probably
go back
wasn't even
to-
that long. It was just me like constantly looking at it. Therefore, it felt like a long time.
That's just I was like I may go back to like whatchamacallit, see the streamer I like play it with his friends because I really had fun watching that.
Yeah. I've told my friends I wanted to play it with them since they're into, well, gaming and zombies. So like,
It's
Even
not
though they're not
necessarily
technically zombies.
zombies. Yeah.
I know
was
they're
like,
not technically zombies, but I don't know, they're kind of horde. It's kind of like a horde.
Yeah, it's a horde.
thing.
Yeah.
And they attack you, so I'm like, yeah, zombies, whatever.
Close enough. You're like, I can't. I don't
enough.
want to make something new. I'll just figure out. Man,
If it has a horde mechanic, zombies.
it's a zombie. Yeah, default.
Payday 2 is considered a horde game, zombies.
but they're so the zombies are just the cops. I'm gonna ignore my own implications there for a second.
Oh, say, you might be leading to somewhere over there.
All right, do I want? I'll take the. Go. I'm still looking for the teleporter. I haven't found it yet. It's a big motherfucking claw-looking thing sticking out of the ground. Probably. Oh, there it is. All right.
There it is.
Moving on to the final level. Finally.
All right.
Oh right, we have to
Time
beat the
to-
boss. It's Magworm!
Kick some ass!
I'm working on it. I dashed away.
Isn't it like
here,
it's
brother.
two? I think it's two.
2 Magworms. That's okay, as long as I don't burn to death. Burn to death! Look at me go! I'm a flurry of blades. Oh, they're both dead.
Oh, I'm not trapped in here with you, brother. You're trapped here with me.
Hey Lawrence, would you mind doing me a favor? Just that way I
Yes.
can like conversate while waiting for this to go. Man, this game's a lot easier to just chit chat on top of than like 90% of the other games that we play. Cause it's so like all I have to do is just remember like left, right click, left, right click. it's so good. But anyway, there's a character from Risk of Rain 1 which I don't think that they're ever gonna bring back, but it was my favorite character from Risk of Rain 1, and I wanted you to look at them so that way you could send a
Alright.
picture to Saba. Their name was Chef.
Jeff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Risk of Rain 1 Chef, and then when you find a picture, post it in on air, and I can talk about it. It'd be best if you could find a GIF.
It looks a GIF. Let me see if I can. But it looks kind of like low poly-ish.
Risk of Rain
that
1. Risk of Rain 1 is a 2D pixel art game.
So yeah. I guess that answers that.
I'm about to say that's literally low poly because there's only one poly, I guess. Only one face. It's 2D. All right, welcome to commencement. We're now on the moon. You can tell because gravity's lower.
Ooh.
Did you find it?
I cannot find a GIF.
I mean, just the image will be fine. I'll just describe.
I'll just send the image.
Yeah, so that's Chef. So he's my favorite
Love
character
his
from Risk of
mustache.
Rain. He's my favorite character from Risk of Rain 1, and his whole thing is that he's an automaton where he's a chef, obviously, so he's supposed to like cook meals for the crew, but his ship crashed on the planet. Oh shit, I turned around. My favorite thing that he had by far was he had a cleaver, like a meat cleaver, that he could throw, and it would pierce through enemies. And then when you clicked again, he would pull it back on the string that it was attached to its handle. And so you could go, like boom, 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 and just like slice up a bunch of enemies.
Yeah, dude.
You had an ability, it was his dash, where he would leak oil from his oven. His torso was like an oven. He would leak oil from it and slide across it. And that would allow him to pass through enemies, because normally enemies would like block your progress, right?
Right.
And then he had another ability where he would essentially just fart a giant flame like quickly. And it was really low cooldown. But obviously those two things synergize, where you could do the oil slick to get through a bunch of enemies, and then fart, and they would detonate, dealing a fuck ton of damage. And setting them on fire. And then his ultimate ability was that you would activate it, and then any one of those 3 abilities would then be powered up, and you could do like a better version of it. So like the meat cleaver one, instead of throwing 1 meat cleaver, he would throw like, I think it was 12 meat cleavers in a big circle around him. And so that was really cool. The rest of them were basically just like more oil, more flame, so on and so forth. But one of the reasons, beyond him just being really fun, and I just loved him to death, he also was one of the very few characters that had self-sustain. Because the thing was that if you chopped up an enemy, or if you used your blade, they would get a status effect called chopped, and then if you burnt them with the oil, they would get seared. And if an enemy was chopped and seared before they died and then died, they would drop a hamburger, and you could pick it up and eat it to regain health.
That sounds pretty funny.
It was awesome. And you know, just like Risk of Rain 2, that game had a lot of multiplayer. Like, it was very multiplayer centric. Dude, I'm gonna fucking die. Holy shit.
Oh.
It was very multiplayer centric, and so I was very valuable, because not only was I DPS, because Chef was a DPS character, but I was also good enough at the character that people would be like, "Hey Chef, can you make me a sandwich real quick?" And I'd be like, "Sure." Boop, 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 boop. And then they would pick it up, and they would regain like 50% of their health. It was awesome.
Hell yeah, just like real life.
Just like real life. I'm dead.
Oh god.
Oh man, this game.
I think because
brutal.
you stopped or something, I think that it allowed them to.
Well,
gather
to be
around
fair,
you.
I was also at the 50-minute mark on difficulty. Normally, on normal mode, you're supposed to be at that final level on the moon by at least 25 minutes. Or, sorry, at
Wow.
most 25, so I had doubled that. That being said, I was just having fun.
Yeah.
Oh,
By having fun and a higher difficulty, you went pretty far.
I did. Let's see what this is, though. Focused Assault. Stunning. Dash forward, dealing 700% damage and exposing enemies after 1 second. That's fucking incredible. That's... Holy crap, I might do another... I'm gonna stop stream, obviously, but I might do another run just to use that, because that's awesome.
Hell yeah, dude.
Well then, at least for me, I will say good night now.
Hey, I
Good night.
think
I mean,
all of us
I'm stopping stream anyway, so
done.
good night, everybody.
Bye.